time I close my eyes.
Yes, guys, welcome. How's everyone doing? Everyone's doing really well. It's Monday afternoon, your lunch hour. Big up to everyone. Hope you're all doing well. We got some massive news today on the channel. You probably all saw it last night on Twitter, going around everywhere about Liverpool Football Club, Qatar, sold, all that stuff. I'm going to tell you everything I know today. I was sorry about my red eyes, but I was up till 3:30 in the morning last night on a phone call with Fox Sports. So, yeah, some things they've told me that they said I can tell you. So, yeah, I'm going to get all that out in 1 second. I'm going to bring John onto the show as well because John's coming. I'm going to get others in as well soon. Big up, John.
Big up to you, mate. Big up. How's you? Hope you're well.
I'm all right. I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah, that is definitely one. Big up to everyone in the chat as well. I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, big up the Japan jersey. You know what I'm saying? Love this top. Although with the red hat, it does make me look a bit like Papa Smurf. I ain't gonna lie. I thought you were going to say Pep Linders J. No. Today I feel Qatari. So, obviously last night, I mean, I was not aware of it, to be fair. So what happened to me yesterday is that sitting downstairs, normal, watching TV, kids have gone to bed. My little one is still up because she won't sleep. And just sitting there watching Netflix and stuff, as you do, chilling out. The wife's gone to bed already. And I'm just scrolling through Twitter and all this Qatari stuff's coming up. Now, all this Qatari stuff's coming up. I'm like, what is this stuff here? It's about all this news coming out of Qatar. And I was like, wow, okay, let's read more into this before we find out anything. Then Cal went live with Coppish at midnight, I think. Hussam went live at midnight, and I was watching the Sam show at midnight. And I had a phone call out of the blue. So basically, someone from Fox watched the show the other day and got in touch with me. And he got in touch with me, he emailed me, and he wanted to call me. So I gave him the stuff to call me on, and so he did a video call with me. And yeah, basically, so what he was telling me is that Liverpool, what he knows from in America is that Liverpool have had 11 companies or people, you know, wanting to buy the football club in the last 2 months. So 11 companies slash owners or whatever you want to call them have been trying to buy Liverpool in the last 2 months and putting bids in. But Liverpool only want, the FSG are very, very thing on, they want 4 billion for Liverpool Football Club right now. And there's been a lot of offers, and there's been American offers. one Chinese consortium, a Saudi deal, Dubai, and the Qatar deal. Now, that's what he's told me. And at the moment, the Qatar deal is the one that's giving the most interest right now. What he's saying, what he's heard is that Qatar offered 3 billion for Liverpool, but John W. Henry wants 4 billion. And that's where we're at right now. That is where we're at right now. They are the front runners. They are the front runners right now at this moment in time. Obviously, things can change, man. You know, Qatar can be the front runners right now, and then tomorrow someone can come out of the blue and just put on something else, you know, another deal. We just don't know. All I'm telling people is what I've been told. I've not got magical powers. I know nothing. I just got told what I got told, and I told the world what he told me. So if it doesn't come true, you know, don't blame me. I'm just a messenger boy here. I'm just a messenger boy here. I'm just telling people what I've heard and what I've been told. So that's as far as we know so far. So the problem is with the Qatar thing. So what, like he said, so the person who's trying to buy Liverpool, right, from Qatar, actually owns PSG right now. Actually owns PSG right now. So it's not him, right? So this is where the loophole comes in, right? This is where the loophole comes in. So the company, it's not Qatar as a state that want to buy Liverpool. It's a company in Qatar that are valued at around the 300 billion mark, right? Something like ridiculous like that, yeah. Are wanting to buy Liverpool Football Club. But the owner of that company is the geezer, I can't remember his name now. Peter in the chat might remember it, or John. The person that owns that company is the owner of PSG, right? And so there's a loophole where obviously you can't own two clubs at the same time, right? But he wouldn't actually own Liverpool. His company would own Liverpool, but he owns the company. It's a mad one. But John, that's where we stand right now. I don't know if you've heard anything or what you've heard, but that's where we stand right now. That's all I know from everything so far.
No, I've heard same as you. Last night, Twitter went off its tits. I didn't know what the hell was happening. I'd seen it earlier on in the day. I'd seen wee rumbles of it earlier on that day. Didn't really believe much. As the day went on, the more and more people were coming out with this. Now, what I find funny is normally like James Pearce or Ornstein, who people they got there, would come out right away and rubbish this. Not one of them has come out and rubbish this rumour. So, like people say, there's too much smoke without fire. Something has happened at this football club. It kind of makes sense to me as to why Liverpool aren't spending money in January. Because at the end of the day, these owners want to make as much profit as possible. So are they really going to invest in this squad in January? I'd never seen that happen. But the money that we invested in Gakpo, I believe that's the money that we raised in the summer. That's the money, that's Liverpool money. So the owners didn't really invest fuck all. But do I believe it's happened? I personally believe this deal is already wrapped up. I believe it's already wrapped up and they're waiting for February to announce it.
I mean, that hopefully that's what we all hope, but there's a lot of any kind of thing coming through in Qatar. The private company is only that on paper. The Qatari government certainly has ownership, just not officially. Yeah, so exactly. So everything that is owned by the Qatari government, but it's not an official thing. So it's a loophole. It's basically a loophole. It's a weird one. I'm not sure how it all works. I don't understand all that sort of stuff, so I'm not going to pretend I do. Big up Bruno. Seen several reports. Middle Eastern laws state you have to sort of have sponsorship situations. How do you do it? Everywhere, exactly. Big up Redbird. Qatar has horrible human rights and Everything is ignored by the government. Hey man, look. What I will say, right? Let me get on to the. So a lot of Liverpool fans are worried about being state-owned, yeah, right? And I can understand. If people. I can understand people saying like, "Oh, I don't want Liverpool to be state-owned because the issues in Qatar and Saudi Arabia and all these places, yeah." But the problem is, guys, yeah, if you don't like all that, the problem is don't watch football full stop, because FIFA and UEFA are two of the most corrupt organisations on God's green earth. Yeah, absolutely corrupt. If you don't like, they're awful people. they're awful people. They're most corrupt companies on God's green earth. Has anyone seen the FIFA documentary on Netflix? They did corruption in front of everyone's eyes and didn't give a shit. Money's all that matters. They run over people for money. They don't care. They don't literally care. Same with UEFA. So the problem is saying all this, and then look, most of us live in the UK right now. So some of us live in the UK right now, and does anyone think this country is not on its arse right now? You know, people are getting stabbed every single day of the week. No one does anything about it. We got more homeless than we've ever had in this country in our lifetimes. Pensioners are not looked after. Disabled people are not looked after. Got little children with families with little children that can't afford anything are then told to go to food banks to get your daily shopping.
Yep.
I think we got to be careful when we say about other countries are blah de blah and saying about their policies when our policies are just as shit. This country armed terrorists. That's not. You know, we colonized how many countries in the world? We can't all sit here and say, right, because they got. Look, is it wrong? Is the things they do wrong? Yeah. Are the things we do wrong? Yeah. But it's their laws. It's their laws and their country at the end of the day. They don't believe in like homosexuality or the LGBTQ community or anything like that. But at the end of the day, that is their laws. Yeah. You know, but could you walk down the street wearing a £1 million watch and not get stabbed for it? Probably.
Yeah.
In this country, could you walk down the street with £1 million watch on? No, you'll get your arm chopped off for it. So
Fucking
which country is more lawless right now? You know, it's mad. It's mad. All this political stuff, all this political jargon, it's nuts. Will it? So if we get state owned, and this is a big if. I know I went on Copies yesterday. I messaged Cal and said like, sounds like the deal is done, sort of thing, like done deal, right? And that's what I got told last night. Again, that's what I got told last night. I don't troll anybody, guys. Everyone knows me. I don't troll anybody. This is what I got told last night. So I told Cal. I literally got off the phone and then told Cal. And then if he's lying, then he's lying. But he told me. He got a video conversation with me about it last night. So yeah. So there's so many rumors coming out, guys. But look, every country is fucked up. America's not clean. Britain's not clean. You know, Dubai and Qatar and Saudi Arabia are not clean. No one's sitting here on top of their perch looking down at everyone thinking we're a totally clean country that don't do nothing wrong. So we've got to be careful on certain things, you know. We've just got to be careful.
There's no 1 billionaire out there, Jamie, that is squeaky clean.
Yeah.
Every billionaire's got something hidden in their closet. Then that's how you become a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. You step on toes to get that rich. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So no one's innocent. In Britain is far from fucking innocent. Far from innocent.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a bit hypocritical when the West tell, you know, the Middle East how to run their lives. I think it's a bit hypocritical how we can tell the Middle East how they should run their lives when they probably look at our countries right now in the West and like, you sure? Do we actually want? Look at the World Cup in Qatar, yeah? Look in the World Cup in Qatar. I believe there was not a single Englishman arrested for the first ever time in a World Cup or Euros history. A travelling Englishman never got arrested, yeah? That's because no one was pissed up fighting. Maybe Qatar had it right. Maybe Qatar had it right how you should do a sports tournament. Don't all come over here and get absolutely pissed up and start fights. Yeah? Maybe Qatar got it right. I bet it was a beautiful World Cup. I know a lot of people that have gone up there. Tarmizi, supporter of the channel. Everyone knows Tarmizi on the Liverpool community. He went there. He said it was beautiful. No fear. Walking the streets. Walking around. Lovely. Beautiful place. Yeah, don't let the media, don't let the media brainwash people, man. Maybe they got it right, you know? Maybe they got it right. It was a fucking quality World Cup. There was no fan distraction. What happened to the Euros in this country? The Euros final in this country, what happened? Oh, I know what happened. Load of English people broke into Wembley without tickets and started causing shit and started causing problems. Yeah? And yeah, did that happen in Qatar? No, because no one was fucking pissed up. So maybe they got it right. Maybe they got it right. Big up, Jem, with the super chat. Love the channel, Jamie. Hope this is true. Yeah, I hope it's true as well, man. Big up the Gun Ben as well in the chat. Big up to you. Big up Ali. How you doing, man? I appreciate, guys. I appreciate. Yeah, ban alcohol at the fucking football grounds, man. It's only 2 hours out your day. If you can't go 2 hours without an alcoholic drink, you got an issue. I'm sorry.
I mean, you got big fucking problems.
You got an issue. If you can't go 2 hours without having an alcoholic, I'm 41 years old. I do drink. Yeah, I'm not a massive drinker or anything like that. But I can go to a football game. You know what? I can just have a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a Coke, and a pie. It's 2 hours of my life. That's all it is. 2 hours of my life. I don't need to go and get pissed up and then cause trouble. Do you know what I mean?
Then mate, I love a drink. Everyone knows I love a fucking drink. But Jesus Christ, even I can go 2 hours a day without a fucking drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
It's just mad like that. Look, we should never get a tournament based on that Euros BO.
Yeah.
If you go on the 2 tournaments, yeah, the World Cup in Qatar, and you look at what happened at the Euros, especially in the final, the final of the Euros. If you're FIFA and UEFA, you're looking at it and going, I'd rather the tournament went back to Qatar, because look what happened in the final. It's just, look, maybe things happen behind the scenes in Qatar that never got put in the media, right? About maybe there was incidents in Qatar, but it was in the background and not in the media, so I can't comment on it. But what I saw and what I heard, especially from a few people that went out there, that it was a beautiful place. So I'll just give up on all that stuff. Look, I'm not into sports washing. I'm not into sports washing. No one's into sports washing. I'm barely into washing these days. I'm not into any of that, obviously. The human rights thing, yes, I'm a human being at the end of the day. Human rights will have a big effect on me, yeah? But I'm going to be a hypocrite, guys. I'm going to be a hypocrite. I can sit here and say, yeah, I'm against human rights. Homosexuality and all that shouldn't be illegal. Men should be able to love men freely. It shouldn't, there shouldn't be any issue with it at all, yeah? Right? That will affect my mind. But then there'll be breaking news one day going, Liverpool had a 300 million transfer fund this summer. I'll be like, okay, yeah, let's do this. I'm sorry. I'll come back to my hypocritical state later on, but we got 300 mil and I'm spending it. Do you know what I mean? And so we're all hypocrites. Let's not all sit here and pretend we're not hypocrites. If people don't want to be Liverpool owned by Qataris, I understand their issues. I understand how they feel. But at the end of the day, guys, if you don't want to be owned by state funding and you don't want a part of that, stop watching football full stop, because FIFA and UEFA are the most 2 corrupt companies in the God's green earth. So, football's not clean, man. You reckon a sport that's worth billions and billions and billions and billions is clean? Of course it ain't.
Not only that, Jamie, unfortunately, that's where football's going these days. If you want to be able to compete and you want to be competing for titles year in, year out, then these are the kind of owners you need to have at your football club, whether you like it or not.
I mean, look, yeah, this is true. I said, like our owners right now are not clean, right? They're not clean. They're not the clean people they make them out to be. Look, they're right wing conservatives, yeah. They're right wing conservatives, and everyone knows Liverpool is the opposite of that. You know, the city of Liverpool is it's a Labour town. It's a working class town. You know, it's a socialist city. You know, the city of Liverpool is a socialist city. I'm a socialist. I don't mind saying it. I'll tell everyone right now my political stance. I'm a socialist. I'm a Labour voter, right? I'm not a Tory. I'm not a right winger, right? I'm pretty left wing, yeah. And you got ownership that funded Donald Trump. I mean, I will say though, I was a Donald Trump fan. I ain't gonna lie. I actually was I didn't actually mind Donald Trump. I would be surprised Donald Trump's the next president of the United States, by the way.
Yeah,
it wouldn't shock me. That country is fucked. If
It's
we've got any
gonna
Americans in the chat right now, please let me know. But yeah, America and UK look absolutely on their knees right now, and it's just terrible. But look, no one's clean in this world, guys, is basically what I'm getting to. No one is clean in this world. Now, obviously, the ownership, look, you got the Liverpool Echo have come out today. Look, with the Liverpool Echo, what I will say about the Liverpool Echo, great newspaper. Every time I'm in Liverpool, it's the only newspaper I read. It's a great paper. But what you got to remember is, guys, they ain't going to know nothing about this. It's all coming from the Middle East, yeah? No one, Liverpool ain't got reporters out in the Middle East yet. They won't know about it. I think this all started with a tweet from someone called Qatari, if I remember rightly, last night, or something like that. And I'm not look. Oh God, I shouldn't have said it now. I'm not a Donald Trump fan as I would vote for him. I find him hilarious as a president. I think he's hilarious. I will say though, from looking from the outside, right? This is from an Englishman's point of view. He looks like he was a better president than Joe Biden. I ain't gonna lie about that. But yeah, he looks like he was a better president. But I just find it hilarious. I think he's a funny fucker. But I wouldn't vote for him. I'd never vote for him. I just think he's hilarious. I think at the end of the day, he's box office, ain't he? He's money, ain't he? And that's what he is. Yeah, it started with Qatari last night. And apparently, he's going no. Apparently, he's very close to the government in Qatar, right? And he knows more what's going on than anyone else at the moment around the world will do, right? He's going to know more, yeah, about all this sort of situation that's happening right now. So the people that rung me last night from America obviously had something to do with him, spoke to him, and then they conveyed it to me. So when I tell people that have been sold or it's 90% done or whatever, it's because it's what I was told. I'm not making shit up. I didn't wake up in the middle of the night and just go type this stuff because I'm making things up to troll. No, it's not what I do, man. I got told something and then I'll tell you guys. If it doesn't materialize, it just doesn't materialize. It doesn't mean it wasn't true. We've got to remember that as well. Ownership things take a long time, man. Ownership stuff takes a long time. I'm digging my grave even deeper. The ownership stuff takes a long time, guys. It takes a long time. You know, this could be true, and then tomorrow someone else could just up the offer. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big deal. It's a big situation. It can be true, and then it might not materialize. That's what I'm saying. Things have happened in life where it was true but hasn't materialized. So this Qatar bid could be true. It could be 90% done, but it still doesn't materialize because something else happens.
Yeah.
You also got to remember there's a lot of loopholes you have to go through still. You've got to get 14 teams in this Premier League to sign off on it. And this is where we're at a sticking point, right? Liverpool were one of them teams that were against Newcastle being owned by Saudi Arabia, right? This could come to bite us on the arse. You've got to get 14 Premier League teams to sign off on this as part of the, the Premier League. Look, they got to do that deal where the Premier League look at it, the teams look at it, everyone's got to sign off on it before you can become an owner. So even if this is all true, yeah. Even if this is all true, you got to go. There's a lot of loopholes to go through yet. 14 other Premier League teams all have to sign off on this. You know, Man United ain't going to sign off on it. Arsenal ain't going to sign off on it. Man City ain't going to sign off on it. Chelsea might now, because I don't think Chelsea give a shit about anything now. So you need the 14 teams to sign off on it. You need the Premier League to do their thing as well and sign off on it. So much to do, ain't there, John? There is so much to do.
Exactly. But Aaron just mentioned a good point there, mate. He says they will sign off on it because it could be their club next. At the end of the day, these clubs don't know who's out there, who's looking at them, and maybe it could be a Brighton getting taken over next. You don't know.
Yeah.
No, yeah, who expected Man City to be taken over by multi-billionaires when it did?
Yeah, I know.
No one expected that wouldn't happen.
This is my worry, though, right? This is my worry. This is Liverpool Football Club. This is Liverpool Football Club, and when Man City got taken over, Premier League teams were probably it's Man City, ain't it? And then it's Newcastle, ain't it? This is Liverpool Football Club. This is a different kettle of fish. This is arguably top 5 biggest teams in world football, right? Right now, top 5 biggest teams in world football. No, it's a very different takeover than any of the teams in the Premier League. This would be the biggest takeover in football history for me. This would probably be because Real Madrid and that can't be taken over because they have presidential elections, don't they? They can't be bought by anyone like that. They have presidential elections and Madrid are owned by basically the government of Spain. So, but you can't, in Germany, you can't really have a people that come over and buy 100% of a club in Germany because they're, they're fan owned, don't they, in Germany? So if you look at it on paper, this would arguably be the biggest takeover in football history, right? And that is huge, like massive. If Saudi Arabia or Qatar or Dubai or whoever it is own Liverpool Football Club, it's the biggest deal in football history to that point. I mean, if United get taken over, it's probably Liverpool and United. Like that, it's just massive. And we all know how the Middle Eastern people work. Qatar, Dubai, Saudi Arabia. They all compete with each other. They want to be number one. They want to be the biggest and the best. So when they take over of something, they want to make their company the biggest and the best it's ever going to be. So, look, if Liverpool got owned by Qatar and had all that money coming in, it is game. It's game over, man.
Yeah,
everyone would be like, shit. Everyone would be like, damn, Liverpool have just been taken over by Qatar. Can you imagine? Because you've got to remember, when Man City got taken over, Man City weren't the team they are now. They were a bloody up and down in the league. So we went down to League One, come through the Championship, come back to the Premier League. They were sort of a mid-table team in the Premier League. I think they were under Mark Hughes at the time. And, they were taken over the first time by that Chinese. Was it a Chinese consortium?
Chinese, yeah.
Or Thailand, wasn't it? Thailand? Was it a Thailand?
I
can't remember his name now. I think it was from Thailand. And it all went all up the wall, didn't it? And City got in trouble because he really had no money. And then City got bought out and become the team they are now. Right? Newcastle, the same. Newcastle, a big club in Britain. Don't get me wrong. They're a big club in Britain, Newcastle, yeah? But they're not Liverpool Football Club. This is a different kettle of fish we're talking about here. This is a different kettle of fish with Liverpool Football Club. To be taken over, to get this one over the line is going to be really, really difficult. This is my only fear of the whole thing. Whoever comes in for Liverpool Football Club. So if it's an American businessman that comes in and buys Liverpool Football Club, right, I think everyone signs off on it. No problem. I think everyone will go, right, yeah, it's an American businessman coming in for Liverpool Football Club. We'll sign off on it, no problem. if Qatar or Saudi Arabia or Dubai come in for Liverpool Football Club, I do believe it'd be harder for everyone to sign off on it, because that money invested into Liverpool Football Club, if you're a rival fan, that's scary, man.
100%.
That is so scary. And American owners, I think everyone would be like, yeah, sign off on it. It's not a problem. Arab owners from, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, whatever it wants to be, will be like, oh, no way. We can't have Liverpool owned by a state. That would be madness. That would be madness. Because Liverpool would just go, right, this is what will happen, guys. This is what will happen if this Qatari company takes over Liverpool, right? They will be like, right, we're going to take Liverpool over. We bought Liverpool. This is what we want. We want Liverpool to be number one in the world again, right? We want Liverpool to be number one team in world football, and we're not hanging about. Right. Enzo Fernandez, you wanted him, yeah? Right, here you go. Jude Bellingham, you wanted him, yeah? Here you go. They're in through the door. Mbappe, they will be big fans of Mbappe. They'll be looking at Mbappe going, we're huge fans of Mbappe. We want the best players in the world. We don't want these middle of the road players. We want the best. Remember, when Newcastle got taken over, they was in a position in the league where they could only buy your players like your Matt Targets, your Trippiers, your stuff like that, right? Liverpool are not like that. This is Liverpool Football Club, yeah? Liverpool Football Club, 6-time European champions. What is it? Joint third in the history of that club competition. European royalty. Yeah, we're having a shit one-off season right now, yeah? We're having a shit season right now. But we're still European royalty. We're still world top 5 teams in world football. Yeah, all over the world supported. It's just a different kettle of fish, man. We're not going to be after middle of the range players. We're just not. Even if we're not in the Champions League next year, with Qatari ownership, they'd be like, all right, Mbappe, yeah, we're not in the Champions League for 12 months, but this is still Liverpool Football Club, and we have got all this money, so we're going to be back. Don't worry about that. Bang, you're in. Enzo, you're in. Bellingham, you're in. There won't be no fucking around. No. There won't be no fucking around, guys. There won't be no messing around. And that is what Liverpool need right now. This is what Liverpool need right now.
Oh,
they love their football as well, the Arab communities. They love their football as well. Look at what they've done to Man City. They didn't hang about. Within 18 months, I believe, Man City won the Premier League. Look at Newcastle right now. They're going for a Premier League title right now. They're in the race with Man United and Arsenal and City. They're in the race. They're going to make top 4. They're not fucking around. Do you reckon next year they get champions? If Newcastle get top 4, by the way, this season, guys, do you know the money in Saudi Arabia are going to spend next summer? To make sure that Newcastle never come out of that top 4. Ever. They are going to spend. Liverpool can't hang about. Liverpool can't hang about.
It's not just a team, but people seem to forget they're also going to spend a lot of money investing in the surrounding areas of Anfield. They're going to invest in the actual community of Liverpool as well. So it's not just a team. These owners benefit not just the team, but they benefit the local people of Liverpool.
Yeah, that's that. Big up, Muncie. How you doing, mate? No, the red hat stays on for Liverpool shows. It's just a part of the thing now. Although I do look like Papa Smurf, I will admit. Where's that? Newcastle didn't spend. There you go. Newcastle didn't spend huge on players. They just got things in place. Yeah, because Newcastle's situation was different. Then, like, I'm not being Newcastle and Liverpool are total opposites in the world of football.
Yeah.
Right. Newcastle are a big team in the UK. Liverpool are huge all around the world. It's just it's a different scenario right now. Liverpool are just underperforming this year. Liverpool have players that would walk into the Newcastle team. That's not here to sit here and pretend. Newcastle are in the top 4 with people like Dan Burn playing at left back. It's not like these players are exceptional. They're just working well as a unit right now, and their unit is amazing, and they're playing extremely good football, and they deserve to be where they be. But it's a Liverpool Football Club, man. It's a Liverpool Football Club. Liverpool ain't going to go and buy these guys. If they do take Liverpool over, are not going to come and buy, the Matt Targets of this world, or things like that. They're not. We've been doing that for years now, guys, with FSG ownership. So you think about what we're going to do with Qatari ownership. Big up SG. I'm a gay supporter of Liverpool myself, and I'm cool with Qatari owners. They did not stop PSG from complaining. Big up to you, SG. Big up to you, my friend. And if SG's cool with it, I'm cool with it. Yeah, exactly, Sean. Big up to you, my friend. Big up to you. Lakers in the house. There's a very good chance that Navigator and Oxlade Chamberlain will leave Liverpool next. So we're going to talk about the Navigator stuff in a minute because, I've got some things to say. Just to confirm, is this Liverpool Football Club? It certainly is. This season reminds me of 09-10. I agree. Big up to you, my friend. Big up to you. Yeah, big up to SG. Everyone, big up to SG in the chat, man.
Big up SG.
That's he did have to tell us that. He didn't have to tell us that. SG, you're a beautiful man. Well, big up to you. Big up. Are you going to stay live for Klopp's? What time is Klopp's press conference? Big up, honestly, with the super chat again, man. What time is Klopp's press conference? It's 1:10 now. So I'm probably going to be on till around 2:30. So what we do, we try and see a bit of it if it's on at 1-ish. World of Football, big up to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, big up SG. You're the man. Big up to you, my friend.
It's live in 22 minutes.
Okay, we'll check it out. We'll check it out, guys. We'll see what we can do. What I do, some people, I don't know how they do it. I've seen some Liverpool YouTubers actually watch the press conference and stream it on their channel. So I don't know how they get away with it. Right, look, I'm going to show everyone right now. This is it. Look, my hair is, it's fucking terrible. This is why the hat is on, man. Because I'm a lazy fucker and I won't get my hair cut. This is why the hat's on. Look at the state of this. I'm a lazy fucker. Hat stays on.
I like myself, Jimmy.
As soon as the fade is back, the hat will come off. Yeah, big up to SG, man. And big up Honesty and Jen for the super chat so far. Appreciate it, guys. Really do. Yeah, see what I mean, John? See, that's why the hat's on, man. That's why the hat's on. At least you got hair. Yeah, that is one thing, I suppose. That is what I've got thick, luscious hair as well. I ain't going nowhere. Look, I'll try and find out more about it. So there's a lot of stuff on Twitter at the moment. A lot of stuff I don't know if you can. My eyes on everything. I don't know if everything on Twitter you can't believe. Some things on Twitter, people are actually right. I'm not going to sit here and slag everyone off on Twitter because there's a lot of people on Twitter actually do know stuff. But so there's an exclusive here saying Qatar's full acquisition of Liverpool Football Club is 99% done. We've been told that fans will not have to worry about the transfer budget this summer. Well, of course not. And that the new ownership are desperate of bringing footballing superstars. Footballing superstars, This is what they will do, though.
Yeah.
This is what they will do. I mean, like the Echo says, the Echo being told by sources that there has been no real interest in Liverpool to this point, and it was changed since it was ruled. See, the problem with the Echo, though, they're getting told by. See, the Echo said we weren't in for Thiago, then we bought him. The Echo said we weren't in for Alisson, then we bought him. A lot of the problem with the Echo is they get told what they need to be told. And the problem is this is not coming out of Liverpool. This news is not coming out of Liverpool. This news is coming out from Qatar right now and from the Middle East. Now, if a lot of journalists in Qatar are saying this, I'm more likely going to believe them than I am over the Echo right now, because the Echo is based in Liverpool, northwest of England, where the Qatari journalists, who are very close to the Qatari government now, and will know a lot more than the Echo will right now, I'd believe them. Also, I don't think there's some reporters in the Liverpool Echo There's some reporters in the Liverpool Echo I don't think actually want to be owned by Qatar.
Not only that, Jimmy. Am I right in saying it was a couple of months ago? David Lynch came out and said also something about a Qatari investment.
Yeah.
So is this really a surprise? He said this months ago.
I know.
So people should not be surprised about this, and then if it happens, thank God, give me that money. Give me Mbappe, give me Bellingham, bring me all the belts. That's what I want. I want all the belts.
I want all the belts. Yeah. I mean, it's just sorry. I was just reading some shit there. Oh man, it's just. Ram, I sent you a link if you want to come in and have your say as well, man. You're more than welcome. Ram, I sent you the link, man, on your Twitter. So go and check your DMs on your Twitter if you want to jump in. Hey, say how you doing, man? Imagine see where unlimited funds will be boss. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, all the belts. I remember those days. Yes, all the belts. Echo's pure garbage. What was that? Look, the problem is, right? Look, the Luis Diaz deal. The Luis Diaz deal came out of Portugal, yeah? The Luis Diaz deal came out of Portugal. I remember that night. It was like 1 a.m, and someone went on. I think it was. I can't remember the Portuguese reporter's name now. I followed him on. I think Saint Sakura or something. I followed him on Twitter. He's a really reliable journalist, and he came out of it 1 o'clock in the morning that night and just said, "Yeah, Liverpool to Luis Diaz is on." And no one else was reporting it. No English newspaper, no English publication. And then Paul Joyce, apparently he was working with Paul Joyce on this, and Paul Joyce broke it with him, yeah? But it came out of Portugal because the Portugal journalists knew about it before the English journalists, because that's where the news came from. The problem with English journalism is that English journalism will only know stuff if it's in their area. Yeah, Pipe Sierra. That's it. That's the one. Yeah, at Colombia. When it's a Colombian journalist. Yeah, Colombian journalist. Because, obviously Luis Diaz is Colombian. And the news came out of there because that's where he's from. Yeah, that's the journalist area. So they get the news, they give it, and everyone's like, nah, this can't be true. And then an hour later, Paul Joyce retweeted it and quote tweeted it and said, yeah, Liverpool, this is almost done. So the English media won't get the news until it arrives to them. If something is happening somewhere else in the world, we have to believe sometimes the foreign press because they're getting the news first. So if the Qatari news is coming out of Qatar and this bloke Qatari tweeted, apparently he's very close to the Qatari government. So big up to Sam. I was watching the Sam show last night, and he knows more than I do about this. He's from Jordan, so he will know more about this area of the world than I would do. And he was breaking it down brilliantly last night. And he was basically saying, like, this guy is very close to the Qatari government. He's got to know something. He's not going to put something out online on Twitter and social media that hasn't got a little bit of truth in it. It's going to have a little bit of truth in it. So, yeah, we can't just dismiss it because the Liverpool Echo has said something. By the way, what the Liverpool Echo have put in their paper today, on their online digital version of their newspaper today, is exactly the same article they put in there 2 months ago, word for word. Nothing's changed. So we can't always forget. We can't always just go with what, the British media are saying, unless it's a British story. If it's a British story, the British publication will go have it first, and then it'll go around the world. So if it's the story between Liverpool and, Liverpool buying someone from West Ham, like Liverpool win for Declan Rice, and it's coming from Liverpool, like a British publication that are very close to the deal, I'd believe it. Do you know what I mean? If someone from, I don't know, Al Jazeera News is saying that Qatar, and also Al Jazeera, I think is the biggest media publication in the Middle East. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. Al Jazeera News, they're the biggest publication, biggest media thing in the Middle East. They were talking about it last night as well.
Yeah.
They were talking about it last night as well. And they're very close to the situation. So there must be a tiny something in it, or they wouldn't talk about it. Or they wouldn't talk about it. It's as simple as that. Big up Sean with the super chat. I appreciate that, my friend. I really do. Forget morals, forget top reds. We want the money. We want the best. And I don't want to be left behind. It's the way football going. Exactly. Everyone forgets. People might not be old enough. Some people might not be old enough in the chat and that. But when the Premier League started, Liverpool got well left behind by Premier League money. Liverpool carried on doing the same thing they did in the 80s. You know, the boot room stuff, employing within, the same sort of scouting. They didn't really take the money seriously from the Premier League, and they got left behind.
Yep.
Man United didn't. Man United were full on thing with this Premier League stuff. They took advantage of it, and that's why Man United are where they are now. Liverpool got left behind, man. Left behind. Took almost a long, long time for Liverpool to catch up, and then we finally caught up. But I don't want to be in that situation again. Liverpool have every big team in world football. If you're an elite football team in world football, you are going to be either taken over or you're extremely rich, like a Real Madrid that's owned by Spain, you know, by the Spanish government. You know, Real Madrid are always going to be very wealthy. Yeah, PSG got taken over. Now look at where PSG is. You know, PSG as a football team only got founded in 1970 because their two teams came together. I think you have Paris Football Club and Saint-Germain Football Club, and they merged together to make one football team, yeah, right? And that was in 1970. They're not a big side. They got taken over, and now they're an elite football side, yeah? You can't be left behind. Liverpool Football Club can't keep being left behind. In the Premier League at the moment, Liverpool are being left behind. Man City have been taken over. Newcastle have been taken over. Look at Chelsea right now. Bowley is spending more money than bloody Roman Abramovich. How does that work? Liverpool are just being left behind yet again. So, yeah, morals and all that is a good thing, and you should have morals. Everyone should have morals.
Yes.
But if you support Liverpool Football Club and it's your life and it's your love, you got your family and your kids at Liverpool Football Club, I'm afraid morals sometimes have to go out the window a tiny little bit if you love your football club, because you can't be left behind. It's the way of football now. And if people are saying, well, if that's the case, then I can't watch Liverpool and I can't support Liverpool anymore. Don't watch football full stop, because this is football. Football is $1 trillion business, guys. It's $1 trillion business.
There's no way in hell someone who loves Liverpool all their lives and watching Liverpool all their lives is just going to walk away from Liverpool just because they're owned by Qataris or they're owned by people in Dubai or whoever. That's not going to happen. But you're almost right. We can't afford to be left behind. And if we don't get owners like this, then unfortunately, that's exactly what's going to happen to us. We will be left behind. People think this season bad. This season could be a regular season for us if we're not very careful. We have like Alisson, Mo Salah, Van Dijk. If we don't get our act together very soon, these players could literally leave our football club. Now, we're not that bad at the minute, but this is what could happen. So we do need investment. We need it quick.
Exactly. Liverpool need to sort their shit out. And look, I know people have been saying that FSG rather sell to American owners, yeah? That might be the case. But at the end of the day, FSG like money. Like every fucking human being in the world does. I want to hear that everyone likes money, yeah? Everyone likes money, right? So if someone comes to FSG and they're not American and they offer them $4 billion for a football club, they're selling. Let's not sit here and pretend they're not going to sell. So the Echo put out a news thing that John W. Henry would rather keep a major stake of the football club and he just wants investment. That's only because he hasn't got the bid so far. That's all it is. As soon as someone comes with the bid that he evaluates Liverpool Football Club at, he is taking the money. It's as simple as that. Now, there might be a thing on there where he has a small stake in the football club still. So I think the geezer that owned City before Man City got taken over again has a little stake in the football club still, like a minor stake, yeah? I'm sure John W. Henry will have a 5 or 10% stake on the football club when he sold them. I mean, He's got every right to. It's his club. He could if I was selling Liverpool Football Club, right, and I got all that money, I'd still want a tiny little stake in a football club, just so I got a little bit still. Why not? Why? I don't care about people being greedy. People should be. These people are so rich. Do you think they're not greedy? Of course they are. Everyone is. Money is money. Everyone loves the shit. I want to be Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge McDuck, man. I want money. I'm sick of being left behind. And we're being left behind. Look, FSG finished 13th in League One before being taken over. Before being taken over. I need money, man. The Moores family sold to the wrong people. Yeah, I mean, the Moores family, big up to the Moores family, that very, very wealthy family in their own right, yeah. They just didn't feel like they could compete with everybody in the Premier League with the Premier League money anymore. They just didn't feel they could compete. So they sold the club up. And they sold the club up to Hicks and Gillette, who probably spilled him this beautiful story. And I think David Moores, before he passed away, I think he did say he regretted doing that. He really regretted doing that. But we can't sit here and pretend everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
We can't sit here and pretend, FSG are finally going to put their hands in their pocket and start paying for players, although they got the money. It's not happening, guys. Look, everyone knows me. Everyone knows me. I'm not the biggest FSG hater in the world, right? I've just never have been. I always feel like you win together, you lose together, yeah? Right?
Right.
That's been always the way I've thought, yeah? When Liverpool won the Champions League and Premier League, everyone says it was all Jurgen Klopp. Yeah, Jurgen Klopp had the majority to do with it. But let's not think the owners didn't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
We can't act like they had nothing to do with the success of this football club, because that would be naive and silly, right? But what they're doing right now is criminal, yeah? Right, I've had my Klopp say, yeah? Right? I've had my Klopp say about Jurgen Klopp in recent days. Everyone's seen it, right? I've had my say on Jurgen Klopp. He's been here almost 8 years. He's gave us great success. But at this moment in time, he's not doing his job. Simple as that. He's not doing his job. He's paid £15 million a year to do his job. And at this moment in time, he's not earning it. All right? But FSG have got a big say in that as well, because they didn't give him the players he probably wanted. So FSG have to fuck off. Their time's come. All right? You've been here. Thank you very much for your service. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Thank you very much for what you've done for this football club. I'm not going to slag you off about it. The success we've had at this football club is also down to their help. Let's not sit here and pretend it ain't, right? And I thank them for their service. But right now, you can't invest into this football club. You can't invest into this football club. This football club needs serious investment. You can't afford to do that. So sell up and leave, right? But at the same time, if John W. Henry's got a figure that he wants for this football club, he has every right to wait till that figure comes. He doesn't have to sell for cheaper just because we want him gone.
Yeah.
We don't have to. If I've got a house I want to sell, yeah, it's a beautiful house in LA, in Beverly Hills or something like that. It's worth like $80 million, yeah. $80 million. It's a beautiful house, yeah. Right. I'm not going to sell it until I get the price I want. Someone comes to me and goes, right, here's 50 million for your beautiful house in Beverly Hills. I'll be like, that's 30 million less than what I'm asking for. That's a bit too much. Let's come up a little bit and then maybe we can do a deal. So John W. Henry's got every right to wait till the right deal comes along for the right price.
100%.
People, I know we want him gone. I want FSG gone now. But if he's got a club that is valued by Forbes magazine at $4.5 billion, why should he sell it for 2.5? Why? If he's got a company that's worth valued something else, you know what I mean? It don't, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So hopefully someone comes along. Hopefully it's this Qatar bid. Apparently the rumours is that Qatar offered have offered $3 billion for Liverpool Football Club, but John W. Henry still wants $4 billion for Liverpool Football Club. So who knows? Hopefully they can come to some kind of scenario where it's a level playing field. They can meet somewhere in the middle and do a handshake on it and get this deal done. But Liverpool can't be kept left behind, guys. Liverpool can't keep being left behind. At the moment, we're getting left behind. This season is because of a multiple of things. Jurgen Klopp and his stubbornness, FSG and their tightness. It's all come together, and this is what's happening to our football club this season. Next season, it ain't just going miraculously get better either, guys. Next season, because this season's finished, if Liverpool haven't been taken over by the start of next season, this same season's going to happen time and time again, and we're going to get further left and left behind because FSG do not want to spend. Yeah, if they not go to spend, guys, they're just not going to spend. I think if someone comes around with $3.5 billion, I think buys the football club, which would be about $500 million less than the asking price. I think that is a deal they will take. That is a deal they would take, but they're not going to take 2.5. Why would they? Why would they? You know, the longer you leave it, the less profit. Someone offers $3 billion. Yeah, that could be as well, baby Yoda. That could be it as well, man. Longer you leave it. The longer we leave it as well, Liverpool's value decreases as well because Liverpool are probably not going to be in Champions League next season, yeah? So Liverpool's valuation of the football club will decrease because you've got to take Champions League revenue away from our football club. So that means for a year, the valuation of Liverpool comes down a little bit.
Yes.
Comes down a little bit. Right? Because you're not going to have all that revenue coming into your football club. So commercial revenue and all that goes down because you're not, and sponsorship revenue, commercial revenue, all that goes down because you've not made the Champions League that year. So that means the valuation of your football club will come down a little bit. So maybe that's what they're waiting for. Maybe I'm not sure. I just got told something last night, and I told Cal on Coppish what I got told. Now I'm seeing loads of things on Twitter today coming out from the Middle East saying the same thing, but yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you, man. It could be true. It couldn't be true. It's just gotta be.
No, nobody knows for sure, James. The only people that know for sure are the people who are involved in the deal. So I don't know. You don't know. So, like I say, until we're not going to know until it's actually confirmed.
Yeah, exactly.
But it does look very, very likely that this could happen.
All I would say, there's no smoke without fire. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's there's no smoke without fire. There's too much talk at the moment. Do you remember when the Gakpo deal started to emerge? And everyone was like, no, we're not in for Gakpo. And all of a sudden, everyone was like, there's too much conversation going on. There's too much conversation going on. And then bang, it was done.
Exactly.
You know, there's too much. There's too much coming out from the Middle East, not to be a little bit of truth in it.
Exactly.
Big up, Ram. Liverpool only break the news on the 11th hour. I trust that. I trust sources outside the UK than within. Same, Ram. Same. Because they don't know more than us. Why would anyone in this country know more than people that work closely to the Qatari government? You know, why would we all know more? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. All right, John, no worries, man. John, if you've got to go. John, I didn't know anything that's happening. I know a lot of people were talking about something yesterday. I was in the dark. So just give me a message what's going on, John. So we don't talk about it. We'll talk about it privately. Yeah? We'll talk about it privately. All right, see you later, mate.
Take care, buddy.
Take care, man. But yeah, it's just, oh man, it's mad. It's mad what's going on. It's Pat-Man in the house. So apparently as well, big up Pat-Man. How you doing, my friend? I love Pat-Man. Pat-Man's a man. Big up Jersey boy. Big up Jersey boy. Hope you're doing well, mate. To compete with top teams, we need Qatari money. I'm afraid you do. It's looking that way, innit? It's like you need Qatari money right now. It's mad. So Klopp's press conference is going on. Right. If anyone's watching Klopp's press conference, please, put stuff in the chat. They're going to probably ask about the stuff. I'll have it on in the background.
But just because directly after something like this, being in a situation to give answers is really difficult. Believe me, especially the answers people want to hear. And of course, 2 days after now, everything looks different. Does make the game better. But obviously, the next game is waiting, and that's the good thing in our life that there's.
Right, so that's going on right now, guys. That's going on right now. What I do, I won't put it on because you know what copywriter fuckers are like, and they just take it off. So yeah, if you're watching it, guys, just let me know what is being said, what the quotes are, and things like that is coming out of Klopp's mouth right now. We need to know. We need to know. Can we see your spot? Can we see your bald spot, Jurgen? Yeah, Jurgen has got. He's thinning. He's thinning on top a little bit. Big up, Nave. Thank you very much, my friend. Much love to you. Big up to everyone. Thank you very much for being here right now in your lunchtime. I do appreciate it. Got 100 likes already. Big up to everyone. We've got 234 people in the house. Let's try and get to 200 likes, guys. Let's try and get to 200 likes right now, yeah? Let's try and get to 200 likes right now. Remember that what I love about Arab Money is that no more shutters over Anfield. Transparency on what's going on BTS of Liverpool. Yeah, I mean that is very true. I'll get to that as well. Scoobiest Pip in the house. Hi Jamie, hope you're okay, mate. Oh, big up Pip. Big up Pip. How much is Bowley worth? Is it spending bucket loads of money? I'm not sure how much Bowley's worth actually. I doubt they copyright over an interview, Jamie. I'm not sure. You never know, man. You never know. You never know. He's getting angry. He's getting. I'm just worried that I don't want to strike on the channel. I've never had a strike on the channel, and I don't want to get one there. Do you know what I mean? I won't watch it. What I do? Hang on. Because I will say it's on Liverpool's, obviously Liverpool Football Club's YouTube channel showed a press conference, but so does LF. Is it This Is Anfield or something like that? Does it as well? So let me just find that. Let me just find that press conference and see if I can do it. So This Is Anfield are doing a press conference as well. I'm showing it as well. So if they can show it, why can't I show it? Why can't I show it? All right, I'll put it on in the background. Can everyone hear it? Can everyone hear it? Let's listen in. Come on in. Good. What's close, though, Klopp? What's close, Klopp? What's close? What's close, Klopp? I'm close to smashing my computer. Klopp, What is close? Oh, Englishman! What's close? Is it a yes or a no? Is he available? Oh, fucking hell. That was close. He's talking about Darwin Núñez's injury being close to being back. But I want to know what close is. What do you mean by close? Why is it so dark in here? Fucking horrible out. Right, you can't hear the audio. Right, fuck this. Right, I'm gonna hang on. Right, hang on. Fuck this. Let's do it. I've had enough.
Can, because we want to win the game. So we need obviously fresh legs. That's not the easiest thing for me, is to sit here and tell the boys, yeah, so you pretty much with the game at Brighton, you put us in a situation, so let's have a look how you can get us out of that again. So, but that's what means I'm out of responsibility. I cannot. I just can't. So, I mean, we have to make decisions about the lineup. We will make changes. That's clear. 3 days after the last game, I think that makes absolutely sense. And then we'll go.
Batman.
Do you know when you talk about like it's your responsibility to
It is.
get more from the players that you've got? Jordan was speaking after the game, and he was saying about how the players are pretty low on confidence and the energy levels are low. So how much more
I
can
will
you
say, I
do
do want his cup.
to get
I do like that
the
coffee
best
cup.
out
I
of
will say, I want that coffee cup.
right now?
Something slightly different, some things the same. And again, so that's how you do it, how you deal with situations. It's the good thing about a long career. What I obviously had is it's
can
not the
I
first
be in
time
this
that I'm in a
press
situation like
conference
that.
and
I'm
ask the
afraid to
question?
say that, but I'm sorry to
Jesus
say that, but
Christ.
it's
I
the
can
truth.
ask the
It's when
question.
things don't go well, everything, the players look different. Everybody,
What
the
is
view on us
pansy
is different.
questions?
All of a sudden, people start discussing. It's completely normal. But in the end, I said it before, these are football problems, and you solve them with football. And to play better football than we did at Brighton should not be that difficult. And that's the first step. We have to be compact. We have to defend. It's the pitches in too many moments looks too big when we are
man.
defending, and that's nothing to do with the pitch because we know how big it is. So it's just the way we
We
defend.
know how big the pitch
And these
is.
kind of things. So, but you always do it. You always go back to basics. That's what.
What is questions?
And from there you can make steps. And again, that's what you have, what we will do. But we have to be more compact.
Oh man,
definitely,
asking proper
not only
questions.
tomorrow. That's
Fucking hell.
100%.
Jürgen, this would be a question. Jürgen, give me a date on the return of Darwin Núñez.
Solid
Give me a
defending,
date
and
on the
that's what we
return
have
of
to do
Bobby
again.
Firmino. Give me a date.
Welcome.
Stop saying close.
Jürgen, is it a good thing you're playing again so soon versus having a free way to
Fancy questions, man.
Didn't think about that. Didn't think about it because we knew afterwards
The
we will have a
pitch is
game.
too
So
big
that's
for
how it
us.
is.
What the fudge?
So having time
Jürgen!
to train is good. Having time to the players can be back is good, obviously. But didn't think a second about it. This is the game. It's a competition, and we will be there and fight.
From the outside, one of the key factors over the last couple of years has been the team spirit that's been really noticeable, the togetherness. So how much can you depend on that when
I want that coffee cup.
the times
That's all
are
I'm going to say. It's all I'm getting from this press conference.
No,
I want that coffee cup.
that's important. But again, that's the same thing. When you there's always a question: what is first there, team spirit or success? So you become successful, all of a sudden, I'm 100% sure it's always the spirit first.
Oh, there you go. It tells you everything right there.
Maybe there's some examples I
Serious
wasn't involved in them.
questions, guys.
Where it was
Serious.
different. And again, imagine, but there's nothing. That there are no issues or whatever. But
No, I wouldn't know.
the boys are good with each other. We are good with each other. That doesn't mean I cannot be harsh. That doesn't mean they cannot be clear in what they want from each other and stuff like this. All these things happen. It's clear. Thank God, nothing of that happens outside the dressing room or stuff like this. That would be probably really bad if then all of a sudden have to explain these kind of things.
Yeah,
So
Klopp
far,
don't look
we are
great,
good
I
with
will
that.
admit.
But we are very clear with ourselves. We don't hide neither informations nor ourselves, and so that's it. But we have to admit too often this season we didn't
Redmond
play to our
TV
potential,
only need 2 midfielders.
and that's the
somewhere.
truth as well.
2. That all.
We had games
Yeah.
where we played really well. They were there as well, but obviously not often enough to be really successful. And that's where we want to go again, because we cannot, and we don't want to turn time back, if that's the way you can say it, to start again. Say, oh, come on, we have to start at nil. It's not nil, but we have to start again. We cannot just, because it's all situations. So we were not compact in the game against Brighton, obviously. And then you saw other situations where some players still tried to press, but the formation was absolutely not there for, because Last Lion didn't push anymore, because we let them alone a lot. And then they don't come up and stuff like this. And all of a sudden, one Brighton player turns, and it looks like there's absolutely no Liverpool player around.
Hey,
That's
right,
why I
use
said I
Carvalho.
never saw a game like this. And that's something we have to change. Must be massive, absolutely more difficult to get out of any situation against us. And
Heck, man.
I'm pretty sure we will see glimpses of that tomorrow night, and then we will go from there.
And are you expecting Wolves to be able to prove a point? And
Yeah.
the crowd after
Yeah,
what
of course.
happened today?
That's how the cup competition is. I maybe they have still a goal in mind. I'm not sure, but we have had nothing to do with the goal. It's not that we said it was no goal. But it might be an extra motivation. I don't know. But they were good. If there was, they were good. And yes, it's a home game now. In these situations, the easiest explanation is always try to bring yourself in a position of the opponent. The other way around, they come here. Yes, we would be on our toes. They will be on their toes. Completely normal.
Carl?
You changed the midfield setup slightly at Brighton in terms of maybe Thiago's role, slightly anyway. Is that something that, in terms of the formation, is it something you're still trying to find solutions with? You still like to experiment with change or think of different solutions that way?
Oh, we have a lot of things to consider. Yes,
Not me, Jürgen. What is your breathing about?
2 senior
What is Jürgen's
players available if
breathing?
you want. Dealers. So how can you set that up? That means it's one thing, how you bring them in the best position, how you
It's been cloned.
and that was actually the real intention, because we played at Brighton in a really good moment. How can you help them with defending, that they're in the right places, stuff like this? And that's what we thought, and that didn't work
Exactly,
out.
Pat, man. Exactly. Exactly.
So, but yes, we have to find solutions. That's clear. That we will have to find them for a few weeks still, I think.
Exactly.
And yeah, that's what we do pretty much every day.
Pablo's picture.
Yeah, just on Fabio Carvalho, he's obviously scored against Man City, got taken off, hasn't played a minute in the 5 games since. What's the situation with him? Is it something he needs?
There are no, from my point of view, there are no, how can you say that, like personal situations or stuff like this. We work with a football team, players offer, and I have to pick. That's pretty much everything. There's nothing else. We're behaving well. Everything is good. Didn't have any problems or whatever. It's just sports decisions, what you make for the moment. But we are working. He's working. That's all.
Last one.
Yeah, it's been a couple of months since it came off that the owners were looking for new investments, and a lot of parties linked into the meantime. Just wondering, is that something that you've been speaking with the owners about since it comes to like the looking for investments?
Yes, but nothing for you actually. I think about what could I tell you about that. Nothing.
Oh, Jürgen knows something. Jürgen knows something, man. Let's bring in Jerry in. We go, Jerry.
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Let me just get this fucking thing sorted. There you go. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, good. I was just listening to Klopp's press conference. Hopefully this video don't get taken down, because I just had that on the video. So
no, I don't think it will. I done that on my last
yeah, because
it should be fine.
other channels do it, don't they? That's what I saw. Other channels, watch it live, don't they, on their show? So And
Yeah.
this is Anfield where they did it up as well, so as their main thing. So I think you can do it.
I think if you do it through, you've probably done it through Twitter, isn't it?
No, I did it YouTube to YouTube. I went fuck it. I'll just do it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I know if you do it through Twitter, I don't think there should be any.
Yeah, Twitter's fine because it's a video clip, ain't it? That's gone somewhere else, so you can start a third party. So, but
Anyway,
yeah,
so
fuck it.
how's everyone feeling anyway in regards to
everyone's
events?
everyone's pissed off, happy, pissed off again, then happy, then pissed off. I think that's how everyone is. It's like last night. So with me last night, I was telling everyone. So last night, I actually had a video call with Fox Sports last night. Someone called me. So someone,
Fox. Wow.
yeah. Someone watched the video the other day that I did where I basically told Jurgen he's got to get laid. Right. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but yeah, I told Jurgen he's got to get laid. It was hilarious. Right. And someone from Fox saw it and thought I was entertaining. I thought it was really good stuff. And they emailed me and all that. And then they just asked to have a video chat. And yeah, I did a video chat with them last night. And they told me last night that what they're hearing from America is that Liverpool look like they're going to be bought by Qatari ownership. But it's not going to be state-owned. It's a company in Qatar that is owned by the geezer who owns PSG.
It's the state. It's the state.
So, which is
It's just
basically
the way.
the state. It's a loophole. Yeah. It's a loophole that is allowed because you can't own two clubs at the same time in FIFA rules. But because he's not literally owning Liverpool, it's his company. And then he got this from a bloke called, is it Qatari on Twitter or something, that he told me about, that he spoke to or something, that he then spoke to me about. So then I told people what I've been told. So people are like coming to me like I know it. I don't know any. I've just been told stuff, and then I'm telling everyone else. He told me to tell my channel, so I'll tell my channel. And if it don't happen, it don't happen. Don't come and shoot me.
Exactly. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger.
But I've been saying it. Liverpool need taking over badly. They need investment. Liverpool can't be left behind like they did when the Premier League started in '92.
Oh, no.
And at the moment, that looks like what's happening because you look at City, Newcastle. Bowley has spent more money in FSG in 10 years. In 6 months. It's just mad. And, you got Newcastle now. Newcastle won't worry me. If Newcastle get top 4 this season, their ownership is going to do everything possible to make sure they never come out of top 4 ever again.
If they get to, that would be the worst thing to happen for Liverpool, to be fair. You'd want a Tottenham or someone to get top 4 instead because they're more likely to, drop off, come back out. If Newcastle get into the top 4, the amount of money on wages they're going to be able to spend on players is going to be absurd. You're going to see a lot of players, just like in that early Man City team, where they're just going there for the paycheck, and that's going to enable them to go and stay in the top 4.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. And look, we know what Arab owners are like. They will just buy. They want to be number one. Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Arabian consortium that own Newcastle United right now will want to destroy Man City and their consortium because that's how they do it. That's how they do it. So, but what I was saying, me and John were saying earlier on in the show, is that Liverpool being taken over is a different kettle of fish to everything in world football. If Liverpool got taken over by Qatar, it's the biggest takeover in football history. Because you look at the teams that can't be taken over, like Qatar can't buy Real Madrid because of the thing
state ownership,
football. Yeah, because it's presidential candidates that run the football club. Germany is more of a fan-based owned thing. It's that 49 and 51 or whatever it is. So you never really can get. So if you think about it, in all honesty, if Man United don't get bought first, it'd be the biggest thing ever in football for Liverpool to be bought. And Liverpool on a different planet to Newcastle United. Newcastle United are a big UK side. Yeah, they're a big UK side, no doubt about it. I like Newcastle. I've got nothing wrong with Newcastle. They're a big club, but Liverpool are gigantic worldwide. There's a difference. Even how shit Liverpool are now, they're probably top 5 biggest teams in world football supported around the world, without a doubt. Yeah. Right? And if Liverpool get taken over by Qatar, the problem is you've got to get 14 Premier League teams to sign off on it, ain't you? Now, this is where it could come tricky, because if you're all these Premier League teams, if an American business consortium took over Liverpool, I think everyone would be like, yeah, sign off.
Mm.
You know, they're not going to be as a threat because we're owned by richer people. If Qatar own Liverpool, Man City go right, a City go check that list are Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal, because Liverpool taken over by Qatar is.
I think it does depend though, because there has to be a valid reason as to why you wouldn't want to sign off.
Yeah.
So with Newcastle, originally it was obviously the whole kind of
Human rights
reporter
shit.
scandal, human rights scandal, and that type of thing, which gave them the basis to say no. If Premier League teams say no, they have to say why not.
Yeah.
And all that happens is that the Qatari people just make sure there's nothing really like in verbatim that they can actually go and put across and be like, you know what, that's going to be an issue. But yeah, look, I want that oil money. I want that Qatari money. I've been speaking about it, dashed oil on my head, you know, like celebrating it. I thought it would be done by now. That was back in November.
Yeah.
I just don't. I know it's mad to say. Do you guys? And I've got a question for you, Jamie. Do you think Klopp stays with these types of owners, considering how he's spoken about the likes of Man City, how he's spoken about the likes of the Newcastle deal going through, how he's spoken about the Qatar World Cup itself, saying that the Qatar World Cup shouldn't have been played in Qatar? To get owners in like that, considering Klopp doesn't stay. In my opinion, he doesn't. He walks away.
He will look like a hypocrite. That's the thing. He will look like a massive hypocrite. I'm not sure. My thing on it, I think if Qatari ownership comes in, they are going to want players that Klopp might not want. That's a thing. You know, Klopp is very much about personality. You know, how the person is, meeting their families and all that sort of stuff before they buy players. He says it all the time. That is as important to him as the player's ability. He's always said that. That's really important to him. But if you're getting ownership like Qatar in, they want superstars. They want to win tomorrow, not next week. And if they get players that Klopp's not interested in, then you might see an issue. That's where the problem might lie.
And what they'll do is the off-field decisions are going to be more important than they are today. So Liverpool won't go and sign a Gakpo because, yeah, I mean, a Gakpo is great. They're going to look to sign Mbappe. They're going to look to sign the next name in world football, because what that does, it propels the level of the team. The team gets then obviously more endorsements. The team's bigger globally. So you saw it with the Neymar deal. We've seen it with Ibrahimovic when he went there. You saw it when Thiago Silva went to PSG. PSG always bought. Yes, they bought the good players, but they also bought the very big profile players. So Thiago Silva, arguably at the time the best centre back in the world. Ibrahimovic, arguably the best number 9 in the world. Not even in terms of ability, but the brand that he possesses. The brand, when you think of top strikers, he was up and amongst them.
Yep.
Liverpool aren't going to be shopping in that same market, and it's going to be a different. Klopp's never been in that world.
He don't like that world either. We know Klopp don't like that world either. Klopp is. You only got, and people will say, "How do you know what Klopp's thinking?" Right? The problem is, just listen to Klopp talk about things that ain't to do with football. Yeah, Jurgen is very left wing. Right? Jurgen Klopp's a socialist. Yeah, he's very left wing. He's not a right wing conservative or anything like that. Yeah, he's listen to the way he talks about policies. That's why a lot of people, you know, actually like the way he talks when it comes to things that ain't to do with football. The way he spoke about COVID, the way he spoke about what the Prime Minister's doing in this country and stuff like that. People are actually like, yeah, he talks very well. He's got some really good views on life, you know, away from football. So if you listen to Jurgen like that, this isn't Jurgen's world. Jurgen don't like this. And look, would he give it a year? I think he might give it a year, because he might think like, shit, you know, I've been wanting players that FSG can't get me. These can get me it. But also, I'm extremely comfortable with FSG, because I can do what I want with this football club and have 100% security in what I'm doing at this football club. as soon as these guys come in, if we're ninth in the Premier League under Qatari ownership, Klopp's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is that the mentality behind the club has to go and change, because if anyone is in here and if anyone's in here and they're up for this Qatari investment or this kind of Russian or oil money or wherever the investment comes from, whoever it is, it might not be the Qatari ownership, but it's looking like it's going to be. If we're in that boat, look at how those teams operate. Look at the likes of PSG, how many managers they've had. Look at the likes of, until they got Guardiola, Man City, look how many managers they had. But Guardiola's only been there because of the constant success. He's got 4 out of 5 Premier Leagues. Like, if these slip-ups that Klopp's had, these two, and yeah, you can put it down to FSG, which is fair for the moment. Like, we can't really dispute that. But if we're outside the top 4, he's gone. Look at how Chelsea are operated. Look at how Real Madrid are run in terms of the amount of money they've got, because you're gone. You're gone. And it's the same with the players. It's the same with the manager. The mentality and the culture within the club is going to change completely. And I know for a fact there's a lot of Liverpool fans, especially in Liverpool, that are not going to like it.
I mean, look, I can understand the city of Liverpool, because the city of Liverpool is a socialist city. You know, it's a left-wing city. It's a very working-class city. I can understand the city of Liverpool. I can understand Scouser's points of it. I really can. If I was a Scouser, I'll probably feel like they would, because I'm a Liverpool fan outside of Liverpool, so I can see, like you, Jerry, we can see things maybe a little bit differently. Yeah, because we're not in that bubble, in that area. And so I will never disrespect them. Like Jerry wouldn't. No one would ever disrespect the people of Liverpool and their views, because they come from that city. And I would never go and do that. Neither would Jerry, and neither would anyone that I know do that. But when you're from that bubble, I can understand why you'd think like that. Outside it, we might think a little bit differently. But yeah, look, I've said about ownership from Qatari state and Saudi state and Dubai and all that. Look, the problem with all the things going on is like the human rights records. They don't believe in homosexuality, LGBTQ communities, and all this sort of stuff. Yeah, and you got everyone talking about it when the World Cup started, which I thought was disgusting. Gary Lineker's first 5 minutes of the opening of the World Cup, I thought was disgusting. Especially what's going on in this country. Got people getting stabbed every single day of the week. No one does anything about it. We've got a lawless country. If you live in London, like me and Jerry do, London's lawless. London is lawless. Would I wear a £100,000 watch down the street in London right now? No. Do you know what I mean? It's the lawless city right now. We're in a lawless country. We got the poorest people in this country are not looked after and told just go to food banks to get food. The disabled are not looked after, and I know that because I've got a disabled daughter, man. I know a lot about this shit, right? They're not looked after enough. We're left on the side. Yeah, the pensioners in this country, the people that fought in wars for this country are left on the side. So when people say about, we can't have this because of human, look at our doorstep first, guys. Look at our doorstep first. What billionaires are helping this country out? What billionaires are helping this country out? Yeah, do you know how many countries we've colonized, guys? Come on. I mean, look at the Qatar World Cup, right? Look at the Qatar World Cup, right? What a great World Cup it was. Arguably the greatest World Cup of all time, yeah? Not one Englishman I know got arrested. Away Englishman never got arrested at a World Cup, right? There was no drink. There was no alcohol. Everyone was well behaved. We know Tarmizi, he went to the World Cup. He said it was beautiful. It's safe walking around. It was lovely. Everyone's friendly. There was no violence, no problems, no issues. Weren't scared for anything. Then you look at the Euros final in this country at Wembley Stadium. What happened? Everyone pissed up out their heads, breaking into stadiums, not without tickets and stuff like that. Especially when we just came out of the pandemic, apparently, and people were allowed back into stadiums again, and you got to have COVID tests, and they just came in and spread COVID everywhere and shit like that, right? If you're FIFA, are you watching them two countries host two major finals in football, the Euro finals and the World Cup final? If you're FIFA, honestly, watching both of them, which country are you going back to?
It's a no-brainer.
So we've got to stop pretending that the West that we're in, the West side of the West should tell the Arab countries how to run their countries. It's ridiculous. America, look what's happening in America. You got Joe Biden. He falls asleep. He's president. He can't do an interview for 5 minutes. He's the president of the free world. He can't do an interview without falling asleep. You know, you got Donald Trump could be the next president of America again. It's just, yeah, I do like Donald Trump, won't I? But you know, he could be the next president of the United States again. The whole world is shit. And if people don't like it, if Liverpool gets state-owned, I will say one thing. Stop watching football, full stop then. Because FIFA and UEFA are the most two corrupt things on God's green earth, right? And everyone wants to be in their competitions. It's $1 trillion sport. There's corruption everywhere. There's corruption everywhere. Liverpool just got to join. Liverpool got to join the corruption. It's as simple as that.
That's what it is. I think fans have to either decide: do you want to be on this moral high ground? If it is, then you can't be complaining with what's going on. You can't be complaining about signings. You can't be complaining about why can't we get these players, because unfortunately you got to splash the dough. And the only way you're going to splash the dough when you get to that level is no one is perfect. Like, this virtue signaling needs to stop. The virtue signaling from, you know, this is bad, I'm better than you because we done it this way and stuff. At the end of the day, you've done it this way, but it hasn't really worked out, has it? Because if Klopp goes and that's it. If we were to not win a major trophy for the next 30 years again, is that moral high ground gonna I don't know, comfort you at night? Gonna comfort you on going to away games, realizing, you know what, we could have done so much more, but we didn't. That mentality, it doesn't work for me. I don't know about anyone else, but it doesn't work for me at all.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And with the Klopp stuff as well, look, I do think Klopp would take that. If Liverpool if all the stuff, because I think it might all be done by May, yeah? I've got a feeling it all might be done by May, the ownership stuff, and we'll have new owners for the next season. If Klopp's told, like, right, this is what's happening, this is who our owners are now, we know you're against this thing with the way you think, the way you are socially and all that, you don't like this, yeah? We get it, we understand it, right? You're our manager, but you're going to have 2 to 300 million to spend in the summer. Klopp's going to surely think, shit, I'm against it, I'm going to be a hypocrite, but Jude Bellingham's going to come. You know, there's a possibility I can go and get Enzo Fernandez at the same time. You know, I could sort out my midfield in one summer. If I sort out my midfield in one summer, I can start taking his club to where I want them to be again. He's got to believe in himself. He has to believe in himself.
But that for me is the problem, because I think if you look at Liverpool's signings, especially in the midfield, and you look at how long it took to get the trio of in our most successful period, Fabinho, Henderson, and Wijnaldum on the same page in order to perform at the level that they did within Klopp's system, it took about 3 seasons.
It did.
It took about 3 seasons. You're talking about Gini Wijnaldum coming in. Yes, Fabinho came later on, but it took a while. It took a while. It took 2 seasons for Fabinho to integrate. Gini Wijnaldum was at the club 2 seasons before that. It was about 4 seasons. Henderson was at the club before that. So, and the reason why that midfield was so imperative and no one could come in and usher these players out, I believe, is personally because, yes, the likes of Naby Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain couldn't stay fit, but they also couldn't do the role as well because it took them a while to understand the system. To play in Liverpool's system is very difficult. We've seen how long did it take Robertson to integrate into the team? How long did it take Fabinho to actually come into the team? He didn't just come in straight first season. He didn't start. So it will take, for me, it won't be next season. It'll be minimum the season after. The season after, everything starts to gel again because you're going to have an older Salah, an older Virgil. There's going to be a lot of changes. Now, is Klopp willing to go and do that, knowing that if he spends that 300 or 400 million that we're talking about, if he doesn't go and get near enough, second again, going far in the Champions League, where you're like, oh, yeah, okay, cool, we're backing up and running. If it's a top 4 battle yet again, he's gone. Because they're not, these owners aren't going to go and wait around to go and build something. Like, as you said, they want instant success. If I'm giving you the money, I want that instant reward now. And they're the types of, in order to get that type of money in business or whatever, you have to believe that your investment and your pay is going to go in, you're going to reap the benefits you're going to reap the benefits in one way or another. 2-3 years in football is too long. It's not like a venture capitalist kind of business where you can dash 100 million at someone knowing that, yeah, in 20 years, I'm going to get $1 billion back because this venture is going to, that's not how football works, because the players' age, there's too many variables. It's not a process that can just be flipped over with time. You have to change the players a lot. The mentality changes. Klopp's older. Football moves on. For me, I just don't see it. If he needs to go, and it's going to be more pressure. Now, as you said, Klopp, for me, he's got to believe in himself, because he's got to feel, I've got this money now. It's the first time I've been given this. I'm now this checkbook manager. I've got to make it work, because we've seen a lot of managers have had the money, they've spent, and it hasn't worked out. Look at United. Look at all the managers they've had. Look at Man City and all the managers they had until Pep came in. People talk about as if being a checkbook manager is easy. It's actually got more pressure on it. Look at Tuchel.
Yeah. If you spend 300 million, you've got to show your owners. If
Look
you're
at
not
Tuchel.
successful,
Look
300
at
million.
Lampard.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter. You just got to get. You got to give me. I need the results now. If you can't get the results, I'm telling you, if we're in this position next season after spending, he's gone in October. I'm telling you that for a fact.
I agree.
And that's going to be worse on Klopp's. That's going to look worse. Right now, Klopp's still, revered by everyone. It's FSG, it's this, it's that. There's so many other factors. Klopp's getting none of the blame at all from a lot of people.
No, he don't.
If Klopp goes into next season and we're not back at the top and we're just lingering around in third, fourth, and you've got Newcastle challenging us, and it'll be over. It'll be over, because they want to be on the same level as a PSG and they want to dominate the league. That's the perception of these owners. So it'll be interesting.
It will. And like JT, big up Klopp's press conference now, saying the same thing. No problem in midfield. It's injuries. This is the thing. Right? This is the thing, right? So, everyone knows my stance on Klopp. I love the guy, always have done. But the last few weeks, it's like I don't understand him at the moment. Right, I'm just confused by Jurgen. When I listen to his press conferences, he sort of contradicts himself every press conference, right? And that's what confuses me at the moment. If I'm confused by it, what are his players feeling? Do you know what I mean? So if I'm confused by it, Jerry's confused by it, people in the chat are confused by what Klopp says at the moment. We don't even play for him. So how does all the players feel? I love the guy, because he has gave me some of the best times ever as a Liverpool fan. I ain't going to deny that, man. But what we can't do is, we're all this, we win together, we lose together scenario, right? So at the end of the day, Klopp's gave me some of the best times ever as a Liverpool fan, but FSG have as well, because they owned the football club with him, right? The success came with everybody. We can't sit here and just pretend Klopp did it all on his own, because that's just silly, right? He couldn't do it without FSG. They worked together really well, and they did things together, and they won together, yeah? Now they're losing together, right? It's as simple as that. You look at the way it's working. They win together, they lose together. Klopp with this midfield situation, he looks at it right now. We've got no injuries in midfield, right? No, we've got no injuries in midfield. Midfield's actually the area where we don't have an injury problem right now. So Jurgen's looking at him thinking, why do I need a midfielder right now? I've got every single midfielder fit and I've got 10 midfielders. That's the way Jurgen looks at it, man. Jurgen looks at it that way. And I look at it like, Jurgen, we could have 27 midfielders. If only one of them's any good, what's the point of having 26 of them?
But Jamie, he believes that they are good. That you're missing the point. It's not that he believes that they're good.
Yeah, that is the problem. Like the Keita scenario, right? So the Naby Keita thing, today we're hearing that Klopp loves Naby Keita, right? He really rates Naby Keita, and he wanted Naby Keita to sign a new deal. But the problem with the transfer committee who do all the contracts wanted to give Naby a downgrade on his wages, because they said he's not being available enough to earn a pay rise in a contract, yeah? So that's why Naby's not signed a new deal. Naby's like, I'm not going to sign for less money than I'm on now to stay at this football club, right? But Klopp wants him to stay. and I've been saying it for a while. If you actually look at all our midfielders, yeah, you get every midfielder, put them right in front of you. The two most technically best midfielders we got at this football club is Thiago and Qatar. Right? They're probably, if you look at everyone technically as a footballer, they are probably our two best technical midfielders. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said it a while ago. I said this last week on my video. I said, right, say you got four midfielders. You got Qatar, Thiago, Milner, and Hendo. Yeah. Right. They've all come to a year because Thiago's only got a year left next season. Everyone forgets that. Right. Milner has got is a free at the end of this year, but I still wouldn't be surprised if he signs a new deal. And Hendo's got 3 more years, yeah, right? Say they all sign, right? They're all up around the same time. You've got 2 years' time, yeah. You've got on rotation. These are not first team players, by the way. I just want these on rotation, squad players coming off the bench, coming on for games like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just to help out the team, yeah. Would you rather keep Naby and Thiago as that, or Hendo and Milner if you had a choice?
Jesus.
Because I went Thiago and Naby.
You know what?
Injuries don't matter because they're on rotation. So it's, they come on for here and there.
I would play Thiago. I would play Thiago and Naby. I would. The problem is, I've come to the conclusion Klopp doesn't know how to use those type of players.
I don't think he does either. Because
he doesn't.
Thiago doesn't suit our system.
Thiago, Keita, Elliott, Jones, all these types of players, that are a bit more technical, a bit more advanced than what they do. Lallana, like he couldn't use these players to the best of their abilities. He couldn't. I would take these players.
Look at Lallana. Lallana, we tried to transform into a number 6, right? Because it was getting on, and Klopp wanted to transform into a number 6. We played Brighton the other day. He was an advanced midfielder, and by the way, he was the oldest player on the pitch. And he looked younger and fresher than all our midfielders. And we got rid of him 3 years ago and didn't give him a new contract because of injuries, and he was getting older, and he couldn't play the number 6 position where we're trying to play him. And now at Brighton, he looks younger, fitter, and he's playing in his proper position. Mad.
So for me, I would go obviously Naby, Keita, Thiago.
Yeah.
He works with Henderson and Fabinho, and that's why Milner, Hendo, Fab, they're still playing. They're still playing no matter what. They're injured. They're coming back off injury. Keita was available last season. Hardly had probably his better season, but wasn't available. Ox available. He doesn't. Ox is maybe kind of in between, but he just doesn't know how to use those types of players. That's why when I hear us linked with the likes of Barella and Verratti before, and Gavi and Pedro, no, stop it, because they're not going to play at the same level. I don't know if you watched that the El Clasico yesterday.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's ridiculous what that midfield was doing. It was ridiculous. Listen, I'm telling you now, if we had Busquets in our midfield, he looked like the worst player. He looked like the worst player to ever play for Liverpool. But Busquets in the Barca team, Busquets in that Spain team, looks like he could be doing this all day. He could be going into his 40s, 50s, playing the same way. Because the team operates at a different frequency. We just don't operate like that.
Yeah, but they also adapt for them players as well.
Yeah, no, but of course they adapt. But
we don't.
The football's not reliant on this high octane, ridiculous levels of fitness and running and pressing, and it's to do with how you use the ball and how you keep the ball. So you're able to go and prolong the shelf life of a lot of these players. Modric, Casemiro, Cruz, that midfield wouldn't have worked at Liverpool system, but they're all better than any of our midfielders.
Yeah, exactly. The system issue is a system issue. The problem is with Klopp, he's got to change the system. So against Brighton, he's changed formation, yeah, but he played the same system. So nothing really changed. So it was pointless playing a new formation. I couldn't believe we went away to Brighton, even when we was at our absolute best, Brighton was always an hard game for us. even when we was in our absolute best. Because people might not hear this. Brighton are probably second or third best footballing team in the Premier League, right?
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
Bayern
the way they play.
Arsenal City, yeah.
Yeah, the patterns of play they play with, the positionings they got their players in. They're not the best players, but the football they play is arguably the third best in the Premier League anyway. So we go to their ground knowing that, and we play a high line yet again, expansive. Why is that a midfield? I don't understand. I don't even know what formation we actually played because everyone said it 4-2-3-1, and I did see a double pivot, but then I thought it was 4-2-2-2 by the look of it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what we played. It was shit where we played. But why is that midfield always miles away from each other? Why are they never compact and close? Why are they never compact and close? It's ridiculous.
The reason why they're not compact and close is because what they do is they're looking for the long ball. So if the long ball's there and you're playing the ball over the top into Salah, you're playing the ball over the top into Gakpo or Nunes when he's playing, what you need is players around them. So you need runners from midfield. So what happens? The ball gets played from deep from either Henderson with a first time ball over the top, or Thiago tries to spray this pass. It doesn't reach its man. Salah's chasing after the ball. And then Hendo or Fabinho or whoever in that midfield is like, well, I've got to get up and support. They get up and support, but the ball never reaches. So Dunk or whoever, or Colwill wins the ball off Salah easily, looking like a prime VVD against him. Solid player. They play out the back and then the gaps appear. But then Thiago, Fabinho and Henderson can't run about. But the premise of Klopp's system is that and he keeps talking about it, saying, we need to press, we need to win the ball back. I can't win the challenges for the players. The players can't win the challenges. So change it. The fact that you're not changing it, I'm starting to question your ability to, where's your problem-solving skills as a leader? You go to any interview, they ask, well, when was the last time you had to go and solve a problem? Solve the problem. Enough of this apologizing. You've apologized twice now. You've done it in the beginning of the summer transfer window saying, sorry, my mistake. We needed a midfielder. I didn't get one. And then you're apologizing now. And the worst thing about it is that imagery is just getting so much support from LFC fans. You don't need that right now. That's not the mentality you want about, sorry, everyone's against me. It's all effort. No, scrap that. Sort it out. Go to a back five. Go to a deep block. Play on the counter. Go play a different system. Play Salah on the left. Do something. Do something to make us think, you know what? You're trying to go and figure out a different system. You're trying to go and play a different way. I don't understand it. Go to a back three. Play Gomez, Konate, Matip. Allow Trent and Robbo to be higher up. Put Fabinho in that thing to make a four when we're defending. These are problem-solving skills that at that level, they should be made. I don't understand how a manager of his caliber can't do that. So either I'm overrating this manager, or he's not as good as he is.
Yeah,
it's one of the two. I don't get it. For me, those are the key moments when you look at managers like, you know what? That's why you're a top manager. That's what you get paid the money for. Not when everything's rosy. How are you going to solve this situation? How did City not win the league with Fernandinho playing centre back? Did City not win the league with a 37-year-old Fabinho and Fernandinho playing centre back?
I mean, look at Pep's when he was at Barcelona. He used midfielders as centre backs because of the system.
Yep, Song, Mascherano, whoever it was at the time.
We can't do that. We tried that and it didn't work.
Didn't Spain when they had injuries to their strikers? I think this was World Cup Euros in the Euros.
Yeah, they played Fabregas up front.
Did they not play Fabregas as a false nine to go and cope?
And they won the Euros with it, I think.
And they won the Euros.
Yeah.
When everyone said because they don't have a striker, they can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to change. You have to change. You have to adapt. I've been saying this like my last few videos about Jurgen. All I want Jurgen to do is adapt and change. I just want him to do better. Look, he's paid £15 million a year to do his job, right? And at the moment, he's not doing his job. Yes, we can say FSG ain't helping him out in that scenario. But my problem is at the same time is we don't know the conversations that are going on behind the scenes, right? We don't know the conversations going on behind the scenes that like FSG could have wanted to invest into a midfielder this summer, right? But Jurgen's reluctant to let go of a midfielder to make room, right? We've got too many midfielders to start with. Yeah, we have too many midfielders right now. So we've got 10 on the books. You know, where are we going to put another one? Who are we going to leave out? Jurgen's already said it himself. So this is where I get confused by everything, yeah? So Jurgen the other day in his press conference said, we can't buy players just because players are injured, yeah? Right? Because when the injured players come back, we're going to have too many and I can't register them in League or Champions League, right? So why did we buy Gakpo in? Because Luis Diaz was injured. So when Diaz comes back, we're going to have all these players up front that you're going to have to get rid of one because we can't play them all. So again, that makes no sense. So he's contradicting himself. In the midfield, he's happy with the midfield right now because Henderson, he knows what Henderson can do for him. He knows what Milner can do for him. He knows what Ox can do for him. He knows what Fabinho can do with it. Although I think Fabinho is the one Klopp is pissed off with most at the moment. Because you talk when he talks about the midfield not controlling games, he does name Fabinho quite a bit. And I think Fab's the one he's not happy with at the moment. The problem is, because we've got no other six, he has to play all the time. But then again, I say to Klopp, why? Be ruthless, man. What player has wanted to leave Liverpool Football Club that we've let go? Well, is there any player that's come to Jurgen and gone, right, we're all happy here? And then
Mane.
Unless a player wanted to leave, we've let go. Is Mane, yeah? That's yeah. What other player have we had that? Look at all the players we've had. Why would they want to leave? Yeah. What people has also don't get, right? People might not get this. Liverpool have one of the highest wage bills in Europe. Right? Apparently, we don't pay our players, yeah? But we have one of the highest wage bills in Europe, yeah? Why? At the time, look, we are competing with City at the top of the league. It's exciting seasons. We are competing at Champions Leagues. We are getting to finals consistently, right? So if you're a player, really, you're getting paid well. You're competing at the top end of the sport. Why would you want to leave? So as a manager, you've got to look at it and go, right, these players have come to a time in their career for our club now where I can't continue with them. They might not want to leave this football club, but we've got to be ruthless. We've got to be ruthless and go, right, Jordan Henderson, you've been a great ambassador to this football club. No one's ever going to disrespect that by that. And anyone does, the idiots. Been at the club 12 years almost. Great ambassador to the football club, great captain. But in reality, I need somebody who can do the job you used to do. You can't do the job I need you to do anymore. So I need to go and get someone who can. I've got to be ruthless. Because there's no ruthlessness there, because we're not ruthless enough in getting rid of players, we're now stacked with your Oxys, your Caters, your Milners, your Hendos, yeah? And who's going to buy them now? Where's Hendo go? Who's Hendo going to go to for any of that money? Milner's just going to leave at the end of his contract. Look, we spent £100 million on Navigator and Ox combined, and we're letting them go for free. That's madness. Because we kept hold of them for too long. We kept hold of them for too long. And now they're going to go for free because we ain't going to give them new deals. They don't want new deals because Qatar, as much as Liverpool want to keep him, Qatar don't want to go down in his wages. Ox shouldn't even be offered a new deal anyway. So they're going for free. That's £100 million wasted in this club where we could have got rid of them a couple of years ago, got a little bit out of them, not a lot, but it would have been something, and moved the club on 2 years back in this area. But we're not ruthless enough. And I don't know who it is. Is it Klopp who's not ruthless enough? The owners who are not ruthless enough? But then, Mark, we've had two sporting directors that are left at the same time. It can't be a coincidence. Edwards left as soon as he found out Hendo and Milner signed new contracts. He didn't want them to sign new deals. He wanted Hendo and Milner gone to free up room in the midfield to bring new blood in, right? That was what he wanted. He wanted them gone, right? Klopp desperately wanted them to sign new contracts. We heard it from Klopp himself. You know, he was pursuing Hendo and Milner to get new deals, yeah? They got new deals. So Edwards left. Julian Ward got the job. Julian Ward knows how Liverpool are run, yeah? He knows how Liverpool are run. He's been working for Liverpool for a couple of years. He knows what FSG is about. He knows their business model. He's been following Michael Edwards around. He knows the job Michael Edwards has to do. So he's not woke up one day and thought, "Oh shit, I've got no money to spend. It's all FSG's fault." He knows how the club's run. Why, in 3 months of the job, has Julian Ward decided to leave his post at the end of the season? Guess who got a new contract while he was in charge? Curtis Jones.
But this is where the problem is, right? So let's say for argument's sake that it's all FSG. So FSG, Klopp's asking for funds, he's not getting the funds, and you can't buy players, and it's still a sell to buy model, right? We have two sporting directors that have worked under this system. Edwards being the one that's been able to obviously do wonders in that market. So the likes of Brewster for 25 and sell all these players for a lot of margin for us to get the money to then spend on the likes of, do you know what I mean, the Naby Keita or Diaz or whoever it is with our sell to buy policy. They're trying to do the sell to buy policy and Klopp saying, no, keep the players. So ultimately we don't have any money to go and spend. But we all know these players aren't good enough because every single one of you in the chat, regardless of you guys saying, no, I'm lying, I'm this, I'm that, you're talking nonsense. You guys all want Bellingham. You guys all want, what's his name? Fernandez. You guys all want the next best midfielder, whoever, Chouameni it was, whoever. If that's the case, then why haven't we gone and sold these players? Why aren't we for going and getting rid of the likes of Henderson? Why are we not advocating for this stuff? Because if Klopp went and pressed for this issue, if Klopp pressed for this issue, he'd get it. I believe within this system, the same way he's pressed for the likes of Milner contract extensions and Henderson contract extensions, and the fact that it looks like he's pushing for a Fabinho contract extension as well now. If he's pushed for those contract extensions, I believe if he was to push for transfers, it'd work the same way. Yes, we'd have to get rid of some of the players. We'd have to get rid of a couple of the players. So the likes of Fabinho, the likes of Henderson, the likes of all these players. It might have even been Salah. Yes, Salah. Imagine we wanted to go. It might have been you have to get rid of your best player. It would have been devastating on the face of it. But if it meant we could go and get new players in that can play that system, that have the fitness, then what? But none of us are advocating for this. We can't have our cake and eat it. We can't say, oh, you know what, Klopp, they're not governing funds, and then when it's down to him, you know what, we need to get new players in, and we all want new players in. He's not getting rid of the players because he wants them to stay around. That's why they're in this together. Jamie's right. They're in this together. It's win together, lose together. They've helped each other out because Klopp lacks the system in which he's working within. Otherwise, he wouldn't have signed a contract extension. And FSG like the fact that Klopp's the type of manager he is. Big up Ends, man.
Exactly. Big up Ends. Ends, there's a link in your Twitter, man, and a WhatsApp if you want to come in. So contracts here. So Jordan Henderson is on 140 grand a week, right? His contract ends in 2025. James Milner is on 140 grand a week. His contract runs out in 2023. Naby Keita is on 120 grand a week. And Oxlade-Chamberlain is on 120 grand a week. This is what I'm saying. Everyone keeps thinking we don't pay the wages. We're paying Ox 120 grand a week. We're paying Milner and Hendo 140 grand a week. And everyone says we don't pay the wages. It's bullshit. It's because everyone thinks. The problem is in this world now, everyone thinks players all get 300 grand a week. Yeah, which is not really the truth. The special players do. Yeah. And a lot of people below that. I mean, Casado at Brighton gets 3.5K a week, man. You know, some plumbers get that, right? He gets like 3.5K a week. It's just, it's not true. Liverpool actually pay really well for wages, yeah, right? And what I'm confused with, yeah. So this is what I'm confused with the Hendo contract and the Milner contract renewal, because some people keep bringing this up all the time. But if Klopp wanted them to sign so bad, how comes Gini Wijnaldum never got a new deal, right? And I look at it and think, right, if Hendo and Milner are on 140 grand a week, how much was Gini asking for? Because if Gini was asking for the 140, 150 grand a week like Hendo did, he would have got a new deal. There's no doubt about it. Because look at the age of Hendo and look at the age of Genie. So the age factor don't come into it. So how much was Genie asking for? How much was Genie asking for? If Genie was asking for 180, 200 grand a week, right, which at the time was Salah and Virgil money, I don't blame FSG and the ownership for not actually giving him that new deal. But if he was asking, for money, then he would have got the deal. Surely, it's weird.
Problem is though, how much Genie was on like peanuts though in comparison to everyone else.
He was on 70k, so 140
exactly.
is double.
That's
double.
Yeah, I know, but I understand. But if for me, I think someone like that should have got a 180 because how much is Thiago on now?
Thiago's on 180.
Who was playing majority of the games?
Oh, Genie.
Exactly.
Genie should have got that contract, but I think with Thiago, like, when he was at Bayern Munich, he's a special player, ain't he? So he came on that.
100%. 100%. But then you have to, 100%. But then you also have to look at, all right, what is this player currently doing for our team? So regardless of whether people thought, Genie was good or not, he played every single game.
Yeah,
he was hardly ever fit. So you're looking at a player now that played 38 games a season, was ever present in everything that Liverpool ever did. Even if you wanted, look, Nasser's saying he wanted 120. Look, maybe he wanted 120, but let's say he wanted 180. You pay him 180 because essentially, he's still going to go and be available. Henderson's was breaking down way before Genie was. Milner was breaking down way before Genie was. So that decision never made any sense to me because it's as if it's like us, I don't know, replacing Verge that played every game with another great centre back, but that's injured all the time. You're not getting the same output from that type of player. And within the system, they're not as good as the other person in that system because the other person suits that system better. So it doesn't make any sense. So essentially, you had a larger outlay and got less out of the money that you're spending. Because not only did you let Genie go on a free, you've now had to spend money to get a Thiago, pay more wages, and get less games out of him, and have ultimately one less. So the money that the club brings in as well is much lower than it should have been. That thing never made sense. But I guess I don't know. Maybe Milner and Henderson have some intangibles that Klopp likes, such as I know leadership.
They're versatile, won't they? As well.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Like the Milner one. The Milner one's the one that's confusing to me because last year you could see we need a midfield here. You can see we need fresh blood in there. And giving Milner a 1-year deal means really, unless anyone else leaves the football club in that area of the pitch, you never go buy a midfielder in this year because you gave Milner a 1-year deal. Unless you're going to be ruthless and let go of a few, then you're arguably saying, right, there's now going to be no midfielder in because we're fully stocked in this position. And we all know when Klopp did that interview with the Anfield Wrap, and he breaks down what every player can do for him in midfield, and then say, "No, you tell me who I can get better." And it's like, Jurgen, man, it's like I understand your boys. So if I play for Jurgen Klopp, I'd probably feel like $1 million. I really would because he loves you to the earth, right? And you probably would fight for him because the love and support he does actually give you as a player, right? But we're not players, we're fans, and we can think differently. And I'm a Jurgen Klopp fan, but I support Liverpool Football Club. I'm not going to stop support Liverpool Football Club when he leaves. I'm not going to stop support Liverpool Football Club when FSG go. I'm still a Liverpool fan, So we, as fans, we see it differently, right? Players, they might not. They probably love the guy to bits because the way he supports them and loves them. If I'm Jordan Henderson, I'm hearing Klopp go, mentioning in my name and go, who can I get better than Hendo? Like, do you tell me right now, for the money that it'll cost, who can I get that will do what Hendo does for me? If I'm Jordan Henderson, I'm like, fuck me, he loves me, don't he? Jesus, I ain't going to fight for life for this guy, right? Because you would, right? But as a fan, we're sitting here and thinking, no.
Thing is, what I need from my manager, and this is just my personal opinion, I need I need you to be the reality checker. I need you to keep everyone in check the way Ferguson kept everyone in check. Where it was like, no, he's gone though. Like Beckham's going, Ronaldo's going, but we're still going to be all right.
Yeah. Would Klopp get rid of Beckham? Would Klopp get rid of Beckham?
No way.
Would Klopp get rid of Yap Stam after 2 seasons?
Nope. Whereas what we've seen with loads of teams. I mean, you talk about even Pep in his first couple of years, signed Bravo, had Bravo, didn't rate him, got rid of him. Had Ferran Torres, something was happened, you're gone. Sane, you've been amazing for me, you're gone. Sterling, you're great for us, you're gone. We get someone in, and it keeps everyone fresh. And if Klopp hasn't got that mentality, for me, that's where everything starts to break down, because he's then not advocating for signings. He's then not putting pressure on the FSG if that's the narrative we want to go out with. Yeah. And look, GR saying, look, all of those players asked to leave. Yes, they're asked to leave because Pep was ruthless with how he behaved. Pep was ruthless. Mane wanted to leave, and Klopp told him to stay one more season.
Yeah, Mane wanted to leave 2 years ago. Yeah, he went to leave 2 summers ago.
Mane wanted to leave. Go look at BBC Africa. Check it. Sterling wanted to leave. Why did Sterling want to leave? Because he wasn't getting game time. That's what it was. But Pep was ruthless. Brought in new players. I don't need you anymore. You can go.
And by the way, City I know they got Jack Grealish for £100 million. You look at the deals City do; they're not always massive transfers either. No. They got Alvarez 17 million, Akanji 15 million. You know, yes, they have money, unlimited resources, but they're not. You know, they do good deals as well. They're getting another geezer from South America for 8 million, ain't they? You know, they do good deals. They find good deals in the transfer market. And they do them, and these are the sort of deals we could do as well. You know, you look at what an FSG and a Jurgen Klopp kind of transfer is. It's between the 20 and 50 million pound mark, ain't it? Right, that's what we look at, right? 20 to 50 million pound mark. Look at all the players that have moved around Europe in a midfield position, that have gone around the 20 to 50 million pound mark in the last 18 months. Camavinga's of this world. You know, you're telling me Camavinga before Real Madrid got interested, you're telling me we couldn't have looked at him and got him in. Enzo Fernandez went to Benfica for 10 million in the summer. And then we're interested in Enzo Fernandez when he's 120 million. Makes no sense. Why didn't we do the deal when he was 10 million? You know,
what about that Andras Schleiderop, the one that's gone to Benfica now?
Yeah, the winger.
Yeah.
We'll be interested in him in 18 months' time, when he'll be about 50, 70 million. I don't understand what's going on with our scouting network. I don't, because they keep saying, because the thing that annoys me the most is Jurgen always says the right player here has to be the right player. And what he means by that, I understand what he means by it, yeah. But what I get confused at is all the players that have gone around Europe in midfield recently, yeah, there's a lot of good deals that have gone cheap for top quality players, by the way, that are not expensive as people think. They're expensive now because everyone's seen them now, so their price value's gone up. Now, no one was talking about Enzo Fernandez, you know, this time last year. That's why he went for 10 million. Everyone's talking about him now and seen him, so his market value's gone up. It's the way the world works, yeah? So where's our scouting department? Apparently we're interested. We're looking at these players. So Enzo Fernandez, we were looking at it before he moved to Benfica. So that tells me we were interested. If you're not looking at him, he must be the right player, surely. Otherwise, why are we looking at him? If he's not the right player and they're not the right fit, why are we scouting and looking at him? It makes no sense. Go and find someone else to scout that actually fits the mould. Are you telling me Enzo Fernandez couldn't have come to Liverpool this summer for 10 million quid, right? And wouldn't have been better than Fabinho, Hendo, or Milner, Harvey Elliott, Oxlade-Chamberlain? You know, you're telling me he wouldn't have been as good as any of them right now? But even if he weren't ready, as Jerry said, you could have loaned him to Benfica, yeah, and then got he's your player.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, exactly. I fully get that. I think, look, that's the summer. It was gone in January now. Why haven't Liverpool got an Amrabat? Why haven't Liverpool gone and got any midfielder of your choice that's got legs, knowing that, you know what, we can go and sell this player afterwards if it doesn't work out. We've done it before.
Yeah.
We've done it before. The player doesn't work out, you loan him out and you sell him. Liverpool are great at getting deals, you get your money back. With Genie, I mean, big up to Jamrock. Jamrock saying, look, with the Genie situation, it was that you wanted a 5-year deal. You give the brother a 5-year deal and you sell him. If he's performing well and you need to move on, you sell him.
It's what we used to do.
But that's my point, is that you protect the value of the player unless they believe Genie wasn't worth that amount of money. But then Henderson got a 5-year deal. So it's not making any sense.
It's just, Jamie, wait till you see the press conference. It wasn't too promising. Sounds like we might get 1 or 2 players. Sounds like he wants to keep the majority still. Yeah, I've just seen massive rumours online just now on Twitter and that going about that Liverpool heavily in for Neves this January. So,
what, Ruben Neves from Wolves?
Yeah.
But that's another player that doesn't fit the profile. Does he run about?
No, this is what I'm saying.
Great player. Listen, I'd love him. If I was manager, if I was a coach.
Yeah, he walks into our midfield right now.
Fantastic.
Walks into our midfield. It just don't make sense because it don't fit the way we play. But then I said this about Thiago. Thiago don't fit the way we play. He don't suit our system. And I keep saying this all the time. And Thiago, right, there's one thing I will say about Thiago right now, yeah. Thiago's been awful this season, in my opinion. Thiago hasn't been good this season. But because he is so much better than everyone else in our midfield as a footballer, he looks like because he looks so much better than everyone, I think everyone's got the assumption that he's actually having a really good season. But in reality, this ain't the Thiago I know. We're not protecting Thiago. What did we see when we bought Thiago, right? A player at Barcelona and Bayern Munich, yeah, especially at Bayern Munich, plays in a double pivot, wants to be the controller of midfield, the organizer, the creator. You know, he's the one you get space on the pitch to keep him free. You know, you've got a defensive midfielder next to him, a number 10 in front of him, so he's always free on the pitch. He picks up positions on the pitch where he can do what he does best, yeah? You get him on the ball, you let him pass the ball around, you let him get the ball moving. He controls a midfield. What do Liverpool do? We put him in 4-3-3 and make him run around. You know, we tell him he has to be a 6 and an 8 at the same time. You know, no protection. Yeah. So that's why he makes so many fouls, man. Because he doesn't know where he's meant to be on the pitch. He makes so many fouls because he doesn't know where to be on the pitch all the time. You know, we're asking him to do too much. We're asking Thiago to do too much. We should protect Thiago more. He's our best midfielder by a country mile.
No, but that was never the case. Thiago, when he first came in, wasn't the best defender at the club or in the midfield. He wasn't. He's only become that now because everyone else has declined or not good enough. When we had the team, when we had Genie in the team, Thiago was supposed to be the cherry on the cake, the icing on the cake. Yeah. When we needed to break down low blocks, he comes in and goes boop, 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 and he changes the dynamic of the game. Look, guys, go back and look at that first half, that second half performance from Thiago against Chelsea when he broke the passing record. That's what I thought what we were getting from Thiago. Right now, we're getting a B-Tech version of Genie Wijnaldum.
We're just getting a runner.
That's what we're getting. He's running around. There's no incisive passes. It's just passing it sideways to side, but he doesn't do it as well because that's not his game. That we know that's not Thiago's game. I've just gone and seen a quote from Klopp.
Go on.
Is this the right moment to strengthen? I can't see it.
I can't. What does that mean? Does that mean he can't see it himself that he thinks the players he's got are good enough, or he can't see it that the owners are going to invest? What does that mean? This is what I'm saying. Klopp talks in rhythm. He talks in code.
I don't know. I think he's saying he doesn't feel it's right to bring a player into this scenario because he knows. Because for me, the way it seems, it's as though if Klopp, this is what I go back to. If Klopp goes and signs a player right now, the excuses, or not the excuses, but the leeway that Klopp's going to be given, or the club's going to be given, is going to be less.
That's mad, man. All right, let me just get this super chat bigger. Sam, a bit to him, my man. Like Nunes, João Gomez, who we wanted a lot, just gone to Wolves for 15 million. Yeah, what? I mean, and Matheus Nunes, look, I am convinced Liverpool will buy Matheus Nunes in the summer.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that will happen. And do you know how mad that is, guys? He should be a Liverpool player right now. And look how good he is as well. I mean, it's just balmy. Let me just show you this, guys. So this is on Twitter right now.
But hold on, Jamie. I'm confused. Yeah. Sorry. Neves is at... Hold on. Neves is at Wolves, right?
Yeah.
He's the skipper of the team. He's their captain.
Yeah.
Liverpool are going in for Neves, who's the captain, to get him now in January, apparently.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get the primary target, which is Nunes, that we wanted apparently in the summer. Let that slip, and then we're getting him now next summer. Why not go and get Matheus Nunes now then?
I think it's because he can't register for 3 teams in a year. I think that's all it is. In one calendar season. I think you can't register because he was registered to Sporting Lisbon at the beginning of the season. Then he's registered to Wolves. He can't be registered to Liverpool till next season. That's why. But we could have 2 Wolves midfielders in our midfield by next season. This is and
they're going to be our starters.
Which means Klopp has to change the way we play because you can't play a high line pressing game with Neves and Matheus Nunes. It don't work still. You'll have the same problems, no matter who the individual is. You have to change. Let's play this as well. Take that off. Right, let's play this, see what he says. Hopefully everyone can hear it.
And we had injuries, and I don't like that. And it was the whole discussion since we start. It's like different kind of players we need. I understand it 100%, but you have an existing team as well. And the team you have is, you can, then obviously it becomes now more and more famous that clubs get more and more ruthless with players and tell them, you are not part of the squad anymore and these kind of things. I thought really that was this year harsher than in a lot of other years.
See, he doesn't want to be ruthless. There you go. He doesn't want to be ruthless.
But why is it when he says this stuff, we then go and give caveats as to what he's saying? He's saying it.
He doesn't want to be ruthless. He doesn't want to be ruthless.
That's not the way it should go. And I think players with time should punish that with thinking about these kind of clubs where I think, okay, I might get good money for 1 year, but in the second year they have a different idea and then they want to push me out the back door. So all these kind of things, you need to have your own values as well. So, and all the players we have here, we want them to be here, and now we have to work with them. Yes, and unfortunately, the season started and we had too many injuries. 100% true. And we ask ourselves all the questions, why that happened.
Right, there you go, guys. There you go, from the horse's mouth himself. No one's talking for him. No one gave him a script or anything like that. He's not protecting the owners or anything like that. He said this himself. I've not read quotes. I've literally got the man himself to say it. He doesn't want to be ruthless. So he's basically, he likes everyone we got. So who do we blame, Jerry? Is this FSG's fault, or is actually
the man?
It might be Jurgen's fault.
It's the man. Why are people so scared? Why are there people so scared to criticize the man? He's saying it. You can't. Sorry, people in the chat, everyone watching on a replay. You can't come out and say we need midfielders, we need players, and talk about all the signings and get excited about all these rumors, and then hear your manager say, I don't want that. He's saying, I don't want that. He's saying, I get it. He just said, I get it. I get everyone's talking about the type of midfielders we need, but we also have the players that we've got now. And it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like, they might get good money one season, but then the next season they're out. If you're not performing, that's what it should be like. That's what it should be like in any walk of life. Imagine you worked at Tesco's, but we just didn't perform, couldn't scan or whatever, didn't stack the shelves quick enough. You're out. You're gone. You're gone. Why is this? I don't get it.
Oh man, it's like big up GR, GR's big on the channel. Big up to you. We're not scared to criticise. He isn't ruthless. We know that. I'm not going to be Klopp out though. That's very extreme, especially for guys like Enrique. No thanks.
Right,
GR, you're welcome, man. I'm not going to tell you you're right or wrong. You're welcome
No.
to your points, man. You're
Not
welcome
at all, 100%. But I throw a question. I throw a question at GR. Then, where do you draw the line?
That's the thing.
You're
isn't
saying
it?
that's very extreme, which is fair. Where do you draw the line? Is it when Liverpool stop into the bottom half of the table? Is it when Liverpool sign players and it doesn't work out? Like I'm not even. I actually want to know in terms of where do people look and be like, you know what, Klopp has been great, but now it's getting a bit too much. Because with Arsenal, Arsenal had the same situation. It was no, keep Wenger until they got out the top four. Then it was like, yeah, we're done now. We're done. And it's looking like we're not going to be able to go and get in the top four.
GR says when we get no owners and everything.
But GR, the reason why I'm saying that is because he's just said it shouldn't be like that. If you go back to earlier in the show, what were me and Jamie speaking about? The fact that these owners are ruthless. When you're spending that amount of money to get that amount of money in general, to be able to curate that amount of capital with whatever you're doing, whatever venture or business you're doing, you have to be ruthless with things that you do, because everything's time, everything's precise. So if Klopp can't go and maximize the amount of signings that we're going to go and get with these supposed new owners, if Klopp was to go and stay and this money's available, where do you draw the line then? Do you give it the whole season? Do you give it till September? Where do you draw the line?
Klopp says to play better football than we did at Brighton should not be too difficult. Go back to basics, and from there we can make steps. We have to be more compact. Yeah, right, Klopp. In my preview for the Brighton game, I picked a 4-4-2 diamond where there is a compact diamond in midfield to stop Brighton passing through us. So if I know that, and now you're saying it, it's like it's just mad. Look, I love the guy. I'm not going to look. I love Jurgen Klopp. He's a nutter, but I love him. Yeah, right. As I said, he gave me some of the best times as a Liverpool fan. I'm never going to ever forget that in my whole life. Right. Even if he left Liverpool Football Club under a bad cloud, I will never ever forget the times he gave us as a fan. Never. Loved the guy, but. You know, I love my family, but my family can be wrong with things sometimes. You know what I mean? I can call them out for it. You know, Klopp's the same. He's contradicting himself right now. He doesn't want to be ruthless. He has so much. The problem with Klopp is he respects his players too much, and his players are letting him down. But he won't go against them. So they let him down time and time again, and Klopp won't go against them. So when players know your manager's not going against you when you're letting them down, why would they change? Why would they change? It's then up to the manager to change. And the players are letting him down, and he's got too much respect for these players. He's got too much respect for Hendo. He's got too much respect for Milner. He's got too much respect for Ox, for Keita, for Fabinho, for Thiago. He loves them. He's got too much respect for them. So when they keep letting him down, he won't do anything about it. So the players won't change either, which at the end of the day, the manager needs to change. So he needs to sort himself out.
Exactly. Like, big up to Grizz, because Grizz is obviously saying here, like, when he's saying, I'm asking, where do you draw the line? Like, so when's enough is enough? And football kind of just saying, look, when he has a fully fit squad to work with, in my honest opinion, if then he still hasn't got a team functioning, then yes, till then it's mad. It's his first truly awful spell in 7 years. I fully agree with that. The problem is, I don't believe with the squad that Liverpool have, the injuries weren't as big of an issue as they were a couple of seasons ago at centre-back when we were completely depleted. You had the COVID situation and that type of thing. On paper, the players that we've had have been better 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10 than all of the competition. We're not talking about, us losing to Man City, losing to even a United that's a derby. I'm not mentioning those teams, but even though United were terrible at the time, we're talking about Brentford, Brighton. These for me are teams that we should be beating easily. We're talking about Matip, that I argued has been our best centre back for the last couple of seasons now.
He looks done.
This season.
He looks done.
But and exactly. So we've got Matip, we've got Konate, that people are arguing is the best young centre back.
I feel for Konate because, as you say, he's 23 years old. He's a young guy for a centre back, and we're putting him into a situation that, like you said, players need to come into this team and learn how long it takes to learn the role of a football club. So we've gone, Virgil's injured. So we've gone, right, Konate, you're now Virgil. You're going to play exactly the same way Virgil does. We're going to carry on the high line. You're playing on the left-hand side because you're big and pacey like Virgil. And you're going to play exactly the same way as Virgil is. And Konate's 23, man. And you're like, no, you should protect him.
but this is what I'm saying. We have Konate. You look at our midfield. Majority of the season, yes, there's been the odd injury here and there, but we've had Fabinho, Hendo, Thiago. That's been quite consistent. Elliot, that's actually been played by Klopp and done well earlier in the season. Has kind of obviously tailored off, but you expect that with young players. I'm not going to kind of get into my opinion in him, but he done well.
He's a young kid,
We had a very, very strong team out. You spoke about Bobby. Yes, Jota was injured, but look at the form Bobby was in. We had a very, very, our team was strong. Apart from Mane leaving, no one else left. And in a season, for me, like, injuries happen. These are just, it's the game. Injuries happen. You're playing a sport, injuries happen. We haven't been completely depleted. We haven't been. So we're not in a situation where Chelsea are. That's why that argument doesn't fit up. Yes, this is his first truly like horrible spell. But come on, like this, it's the lack of change within the team that's bothering me, because I've seen teams go with crazy injuries and be like, you know what, I've seen us go, and you know what, we were playing Henderson and Wijnaldum at the back, or Henderson and Fabinho at the back, and we're still top of the league. We were making changes to kind of just, do you know what I mean, cope. Right now, we're not making any changes. We made changes earlier in the season. I was actually on a stream with Grizz talking about, you know, when you went to the 4-4-2 and the fact that, you know, in the Champions League and it worked really well. We've reverted back to this 4-3-3 and it's not working. Where is the change? Where's the shift to a back three? Where's the shift to a back five? Where's the tactical change? Where's the, you know what, we're going to go and ask Robertson and Trent to come inside and pack the midfield when we defend. We're not seeing any of that, and that's where my issue is. Yeah,
I agree. It's mad. If he wants to protect his players, he should adapt to a system that suits him. I agree. That's all we're asking for, man. That's all I'm asking for. I keep saying it time and time again. All I want Jurgen Klopp to do is improve in what he's doing. He's paid a lot of money to manage his football team and coach his football team. Look, if you look at the players we have available to us right now in the last few games, it ain't far away from our strongest 11. So we can't sit here and say, like if I told you we got Matip and Konate at the back this time last year and Virgil's out, everyone would be like, oh, okay, I'm cool with that. Matip and Konate, I'm cool with that. And Robbo's still there, Trent's still there, and Alisson behind them. Nothing wrong with that.
Fabinho in front, Thiago, Henderson.
Thiago and Henderson playing in midfield. Everyone would be like, right, that's probably Klopp's strongest midfield. And then you got up front, Salah still there. Now Gakpo's there. Darwin Núñez has been now, but he's missing a couple of games now, but he's still there. You know, people will say, oh, okay, that's still a very strong 11. So why are we losing to, why have we conceded 3 goals to Brighton? Why did we concede 5 goals to Wolves? Remember, 2 of them were offside, but really letting 5 goals against Wolves, right? You know, why is that happening when we're playing these teams, when we're playing these players still? Because we're playing the same tactics. Formation changes, yeah? Formation changes, but the tactics stay the same. We play 4-3-3, high line, expansive, high and wide, pressing up. If you play a high line with midfielders that can't press, it's the most pointless thing in the world to do because you're exposed time and time again. What did we do against... There's 2 games that always stand out for me this season. They're both Man City games. At Anfield, we played the deepest I've seen us play all season. We were really compact in that game as well, and we played counter-attacking football, didn't we? We let City have the possession, but what we did, we camped out in our final third. Haaland didn't really get a kick. Foden didn't get a kick. We stayed nice and compact, nice and tight, and we told Jota and Salah and Nunes to just cheat and stay up front. Yeah, we'll just knock the balls into space for you guys to run onto, and it worked, right? And that was at home. We won that game 1-0, and I thought, this is a turning block. Klopp changed something. We went 4-4-2. He changed tactics and he changed formation, and I applauded it. I went, that's what I want to see, right? And then in the month of October, we were playing 4-4-2 diamonds. We were playing 4-2-4. We weren't always winning, but we looked better, right? And then he went back out of nowhere. He went back to 4-3-3. Out of nowhere, he just went back to 4-3-3, and we started getting overrunning games again. And then he goes to Man City just before Christmas in the League Cup, and he's got less players available to him now than he did when we played at Anfield with that compact 4-4-2, where we give them no space and play counter-attacking football. And what did we do? We played high expansive football. High line, highly expansive, toe-to-toe football. I'm like, this makes no sense. You literally played the way you should play at home, away, and the way you played at home, you should play away. It made no sense to me. So tactically, I'm like, I know Klopp can do it, but he's got this thing about him where he has to go back to the way he wants to play continuously, although he knows it ain't working. It's mad.
Because I guess it's that it's the thing, isn't it? It's live by the sword, die by the sword, and that's what I'm going to judge him by, isn't it? It's that, yes, there are all these caveats. If he was to get signings, if he makes a change, if we do this, if everyone's back, but we haven't got those things at the moment, so we have to make do with what we've got. Now, if he's not going to go and change, then something else has to change. The players aren't coming in, tactics aren't changing. What's changing? The ownership isn't changing as of yet. It hasn't changed. So there's actually no change.
That's mad, ain't it? It's absolutely mad. It's mad, guys. I don't know what to feel. Look, the ownership stuff, guys, is like. So there's a Qatari bid hopefully coming. Sam Wallace from the Telegraph has said there's something happening next month. So there's a lot of talk. You know, Sam Wallace, he's got nothing to do with Liverpool Football Club. He works at the Telegraph, and he's a good reporter. And he's been talking about the last couple of days that there's something happening next month. Then last night, in the early hours last night, we get a lot of thing on Twitter from Qatar, coming out from Qatar, that a formal bid has been made, an approach has been made. I get a video call of Fox Sports telling me it looks like the club is sold. So I'm not sure what's going on. This is where we are at the moment. I can only tell you what I've been told. You guys know what you've been listening to as well. It's where we stand at the moment. It's where we stand. Bit up, Sadiq. Should never have sold Mane and cashed in on Salah. Sadiq going deep there. I mean, I did a video with Savage a few months back, and I said giving Salah the new deal might be the worst thing we could have done. But that's another video, man. It's another video. Guys, we've got Wolves tomorrow. I've got a preview for it today. Jerry, what you got going on today?
I got a tactics board today. So after every game, obviously everyone knows we do the tactics board. So we're going to be delving into the tactics, the somewhat positives that Liverpool try, or the positive tactic that Liverpool tried to implement, how it didn't work out, and Brighton's tactics against us and how we're just keep getting caught out. I mean, if you want some more kind of pain in your life, then make sure you check us out on the Jerry James Show. It will be 10 o'clock, so it'll be a late one today. It'll be a late one. So
10 p.m, guys. There you go, right? Late night, cup of coffee, biscuit, Jerry James Show. You know what to do, guys. 10 p.m. tonight. Make sure you tune in then. Guys, I'm back at 6 p.m. with the Liverpool Wolves preview. It shouldn't take long. So, guys, make sure you join me at 6 p.m. Make sure you join Jerry at 10 p.m. for his show, guys. And, yeah, big up to everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you soon.
Take it easy.